Hello, gamers. You want to watch me massacre trillions of people? No? Well, that's too bad, because I'm going to do it anyways. I would like you to look down here. 1.4 trillion star systems. Remember that number, because it's about to go down. Cool, huh? 1.28. That's a lot of star systems. Even if 1% of those were populated, that's got to be trillions of people. Now, there's an even bigger explosion you can make with this thing right here, but that's how you win the game. If you'd like to see that, how about we actually play the game? If you just wanted to see a nuke destroy a bunch of star systems, you can click off now. That was it. I did the thing. Let's actually play the game. Obviously, I'm going to be hard on the hardest difficulty. Now, I do like the hardest difficulty, but the problem that you run into is, see that first line under the text that says Novice? Collect 2,000 data fragments and launch Final Theory to win the game. Not only does the AI get more advantages on higher difficulties, but the game also just takes longer. And there's really no point in getting all the way to the end, because you really should, like, when you're about 40% of the way there on Grandmaster, you're kind of just going through the motions. You've already established your foothold, you've got the resources, you've got all the tools you need to win the game at that point. And the rest is just a formality. So winning on Grandmaster gets pretty tedious, but when you know how to play the game really well, any of the lower difficulties are just far too easy. So I'm going to play on Grandmaster, for maybe 40 turns, around until the time where I feel like I'm pretty clearly going to win. And once I've done that, then I'll go back to the other save file and just show you what the end game looks like. Maybe skip to the end of the video if you're interested in that. Or don't. You could also watch the video. Ooh, that's a difficult choice, isn't it? Well, there's a few different fleets. Each of these different fleets you can play with. You have to unlock them by using... They're kind of like $3 DLCs, which I unlocked because, the game's reasonably fun. So adding a little more variety felt worth it. The game does feel a little bit like it's missing something. The replayability is not quite there. Like, it feels like all the pieces are there, but the game, there's just like lacking something in terms of the game modes. It's a little je ne sais quoi that other games have. So it's not quite got that level of replayability of something like FTL. But it is a fun game. Like the game systems do work. Now let's see what we've got here. You've got your frigates and you've got your destroyers. That's what you start with. And you want to capture all these stations, which right now I don't know what they are, but there's a few different varieties. The basic varieties would be shipyards that let you build frigates and destroyers, and as we go we'll find ones that let us build cruisers and capitals and all that. Then you've got these things. These produce the resources you need to build your space nukes, your technium warheads. But they also increase the maximum fleet size, because if you could just stack as many ships as you wanted in a single fleet, the game would be a lot easier. So your limitation is based on the number of these. Right now I can only have 2 ships in a single fleet, because the baseline is 1, plus the number of these stations that you have. So getting more of these is extremely important. And then you make progress towards your final theory mostly through combat, which is good because the combat is what you want to be doing. It's the fun part of the game. We've also got a few tools available to us, like ships cost technium, so we have to deploy harvesters on, well, these shiny little things are basically, I assume that they're black holes with a bunch of technium around them, and you use harvesters to collect that so that you can build more ships. As it turns out, using a technium warhead to wipe out a system not only destroys everything in the system, it creates a new black hole with a fresh technium deposit. so the game can keep going forever, hypothetically. Like, there's a few things that are kind of odd about this game. Like, this player on the opposite side, I'm never going to interact with. So it's kind of curious why they're even there. Like, if this was a multiplayer game, it would make sense, but it's not. So they kind of exist for no reason. It's a little silly. Like, it feels like there were some ideas that just never got fully fleshed out in this game, which is a shame. But what we do have is still decently fun. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stop waffling about, and I'm going to move. See, this is one of the game mechanics that I think is very interesting, perhaps controversial. It's kind of like chess in that you can only move one piece per turn, but in this case the pieces are your fleet, or your fleets, plural. Which definitely reduces the micromanagement, because you don't, like, even if you have 10 fleets around, you only get to move one per turn, and then the next person gets to move one, and the next person gets to move one, and the next person gets to move one. So you do have to use your fleets very strategically. Every move matters, but at the same time, your turns don't take forever because you're only moving one. I think it's a good creative choice, but I would suggest adding a patrol option, because the way that it works is that you capture new territories by moving your fleets, which means that you want to be capturing new territories every turn, and if you're not, you're falling behind. So having a patrol option that works the same as the move fleet option, but it only works when you're moving to, but like the patrol option would only let you move to a territory you already control, and it would have a separate cooldown, so you could do both in one turn. You could move one fleet to capture new territory, and you could use the patrol option to move a fleet from one territory you control to another. That would be a really nice additional tool, because as it stands, any fleet that gets left behind and is stuck internally in your territory doesn't really serve any purpose. You're never going to move it up. Like, it's actually easier to just deploy an entirely new fleet at the front line than it is to move a fleet from the back line to the front line. That's a little odd, and I think having a patrol, like a mechanic, would resolve that issue. Well, anyways, that's a lot of talking for the first turn. I'm going to deploy another harvester right here, and I'm going to build the most important ship for the default faction, the frigate. We're going to abuse the hell out of this thing, because kinetic weapons have a shield-piercing chance, and the frigates provide a small fleet-wide bonus to shield-piercing that can be stacked up to 6 times. You better believe we're going to be abusing this, because it is the hardest difficulty. And if we can take the cheapest ship and get lots of value out of it, that's going to make a big difference. In fact, I kind of messed up, honestly, because I was so busy talking that I forgot that what I really should have done is deleted this destroyer immediately and instead deployed a second frigate in that fleet. Well, it's arguable. At this stage, it's a bit early. You know, once we get up to 3 in a fleet, then going triple frigate is better. But when there's only 2, going a mix of destroyer plus frigate is kind of okay. I'm not going to bother building more destroyers. I'm not going to need them, especially when you've got engineering and development. These are 2 different types of upgrades. Engineering lets you upgrade the level of your ship, which adds more stats and more abilities, whereas development lets you unlock specific modules that do specific things. And for that reason, you want to focus on upgrading a specific ship instead of spreading them out. Because if I could upgrade like multiple ships to level 3, or I could upgrade one ship to level 5. Obviously, upgrading one to level 5 is going to be more effective than trying to spread them out across multiple ships. Now, they're kind of counterbalancing this by having the ships complement each other. Like, this one's good against shields because there's EMP weapons, and another one's good against hull because it's got thermal weapons. And that's the idea. But that's also why frigates are so good, is because we just bypass the shields with kinetics, so they don't need to synergize with other ships. They can synergize with themselves. At least that's the plan. We've also got standings here, which keep track of things. Domain influence, which would be how many territories you control. Research progress, which is your progress towards winning the game. And military power, which you'll notice we have the least of because, well, the AI gets to start with a little bit more than we do on the hardest difficulty, as you might guess. But this information's not too useful, so I'm going to keep it close most of the time. Okay, that was a long turn 1. Let's end it. They're going to deploy even more stuff. Look at them go. Of course, orange, they can do whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. Now, the two people on the sides we might run into to some degree eventually. But for the most part, we're not going to be fighting the other players. We're going to be fighting the collapsing empire. That's the lore, is that the empire is falling apart, and these are all all the players are splinter factions that are now trying to fend for themselves because the empire has basically abandoned the Outer Rim. It's a bit of a classic storyline for sci-fi settings. Now, as you can see here, not only is there different costs for each type of ship, but they also have different build times. Frigates and destroyers both build in one turn, which is part of what makes frigates really good. Very cheap, and you can spam them. Alright, let's take this station. What have you got for me? Okay. Oh, good, okay. So, the problem is, these are only level 1 garrisons, and we do need to take these, because they're not only are the stations themselves pretty useful, but they're also blocking our path to collect more stations. And as you can see, even though these are both level 1 garrisons, this one has a frigate and a destroyer. This one has a frigate, a destroyer, and a cruiser. So taking this on is, let's just say it's unrealistic as a goal. This one, a lot more doable. Especially if we just gotta make sure we understand the AI and approach things very tactically. Over here, let's just deploy a couple frigates, and then I'm going to take these two stations. I might even deploy these destroyers at another station, and then salvage them immediately. So just because getting that tactium out of them is going to be more worthwhile than the destroyers are, because I am not putting any upgrade points into them. As you can see, we've got a few other abilities down here. Most of them we can't use just yet. Like the propaganda campaign requires you to have 16 regions under your control, which is partly why you want to expand as fast as possible. Don't want to waste time moving your fleets around to spaces you already control. You want to get this as fast as possible. This is just it's just got a 4-turn cooldown. It locks down a fleet or a tile so that nobody can move in or out. It's unfortunately a bit random. Low end 2 turns, high end 4 turns. So if you high roll, you can lock them down and then immediately use it again. If you low roll, you might find yourself in a little trouble. Yeah, I think that's everything. So, for the most part, we're not going to be fighting the other factions. We're going to be fighting the Empire, which is not just the garrisons, but they're also going to deploy their own fleets, which then start messing with you. And that's going to depend a little bit on RNG. If they deploy a bunch of them close to me, that's going to be very scary, because they can start eating up your territory, whereas all the players only get 1 move per turn. The Empire gets multiple moves per turn. So if they start eating into my territory with the mass, because they deploy full strength fleets right from the word go, which is going to be in a few turns from now. So if they deploy full strength fleets, it's going to be a problem. But mostly you just kind of run in the other direction away from them and lock them down with these as much as possible, and try to save up enough tactium, or enriched tactium, which is a separate resource, for the warheads so that you can obliterate their fleets, and just kind of stall for enough time until you can get enough upgrade points and enough ships that you can actually take on their fleets. I do need more tactium deposits, because currently I've only got this one, which is going to run out. And I'm going to build more frigates. And that's it. In turn 3. Well, no, I'm going to deploy this harvester. Now I can end turn. Ooh, I can spin around. That's a little disorienting. Not that it matters. None of this matters. You guys aren't the main character. I am, so none of the things that you do matter. Oh, speaking of, I should actually be using this. I forgot to build over in here. Yeah, I guess I'll take this one, and then I can deploy another fleet here and take this one. What have we got? Development. Or engineering. Yeah, there's a tier 2 garrison. Definitely not taking that just yet. Okay. Probably going to have to grab these at some point. Hopefully find some tacnium. If not, well, we might run out. Oh, we can get an upgrade now. Let's see. 20% additional piercing chance is really good. Shield generator recharge time is not that important, but it is really cheap, so we're going to grab that sooner or later. But the most important are these three here. Piercing chance for the kinetic weapons, 30% damage for the kinetic weapons, and auxiliary fuel. Now, we haven't unlocked auxiliary fuel yet. I think you get that at level 2. Yeah, auxiliary fuel. It's a very strong ability, especially when you have the cooldown, because this brings the cooldown to 1 turn, which just means you get to use it every turn. And what it does is it recharges your main engines. So you get to move twice per turn. On top of that, frigates have a movement range of 3. Most ships have a movement range of 2. So if you get auxiliary fuel, now they get to move 6 tiles. That's triple what other ships get to do. And that, hopefully, as will become obvious once I actually get into combat, that is very good. That is very powerful. So the combination of piercing chance and the insane movement speed that they have helps compensate for the fact that they more or less have the lowest stats. Okay. I should probably get into combat sooner rather than later, just to show what it looks like. But I can't do that this turn, so I'll do it next turn. Wow. Wow. Womp. Back to me. Let's check those standings. Military power? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think they start with a couple extra systems. They're going to be a little ahead of me on that. Let's collect our frigate, build a new one, collect our frigate, build a new one. Alright, let's get into some combat. Auto-resolve risk, very high, of course. Confirm. Yeah, I'm not going to use auto-resolve. I'm going to use my brain. So, how do I want to tackle this? I want to kill... It looks like they're both Mark 1 right now, so that's good. It means that they don't have an advantage in levels. So I actually want the frigate to take damage first, because the destroyer has a shield booster, which lets it heal friendly shields. So let's get you there, let's get you there, and turn 1. Yep, just like that. So I'm going to put you here, and I'm going to shoot at their destroyer. Because if I shoot at their frigate, then they're going to do the same thing that I'm trying to do, which is they're going to heal the shields. But if I kill the destroyer first, they're not going to get an opportunity to do that. Yes, there we go. I mean, you can do that if you like. It's not a good idea. So I think... First thing I want to do I want to use it now, or do I want to try it? Because it only did 1/3 of its shields. Yeah, whatever. I'll just do it now. This is correct. Let's not doubt ourselves. This is correct. I'm going to put you in front so that the enemy shoots at you. This is a good idea. And you'll notice that frigates also can shoot in any direction. This is important because these guns only shoot forward. So yeah, frigates have a lot of like niche advantages to compensate for having really low stats compared to everything else. But those niche advantages, as it turns out, can make them very strong because you can hide them. You'll get to see it very soon, where I have a pile of frigates sitting behind the enemy ship and they can't turn around to shoot them. It's funny to watch. Let's get some missiles going. Let's get some more EMP. And very soon you're going to run out of shields, which is going to make our kinetic weapons a lot more effective. Yes, they do have shield piercing, but their damage against... But when they... Like 62%, but those 38 that don't pierce the shields are doing like 1/3 the normal damage. So there's going to be a significant damage boost once the shields are stripped off. Yeah, and the way that I've set them up cause them to split their damage between two separate targets, which is, hopefully, self-evidently, a bad idea. Yeah, you're done. And because we're positioned behind the destroyer, it can't turn around to shoot us. So it's basically wasting its turn. Which, it looks like they've done the same thing to my destroyer, but that's fine. Because I'm just going to move here and use the EMP guns to finish this off. Even though they're weak against hull, doesn't matter because it's going to be enough. We're going to use the missiles there. We're going to use the kinetic guns here. And we're going to move you away because we don't want you to die. Hopefully this will incentivize the enemy frigate to shoot at the destroyer instead. Yep, there we go. Now he's going to move away, I guess. It's a bit silly. Let's boost your shield, although I doubt the frigate's going to get through that. Regardless, it's a good idea. Right? Oh. Yeah, he's going to turn. You sneaky little. Alright. I see how it is. Let's use the missiles. Wait for them to hit. Then we can use the kinetics. And then we can run over here. Huh. You are making some very interesting moves, my friend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll move here. I don't think he can reach the frigate. No, he can. Okay. But to do so, he has to get right in front of this guy, which means that is game over. It's close, but I didn't lose any ships. And remember, auto-resolve's at extreme risk. Cruisers. Also not going to use these. As a matter of fact, I'm going to skip basically every ship class up until I get to the top two. I'm going to use frigates for most of the game. And then I'm going to use the top two, which are battleships and dreadnoughts. But I'm going to skip destroyers, I'm going to skip cruisers, I'm going to skip battlecruisers, I'm going to skip carriers. And then I'm going to use battleships, and then I'm going to use the dreadnoughts. That is the plan. All right, upgrade to Mark II? Yes, please. So we get more assignment points. I'm going to max out weapons because the enemy can't kill you if they're dead. Let's take points out of shields and put it into armor. Because every point in armor is 2%, whereas every point in shields is 1%. So I tend to favor armor, although it does depend on what kind of ships you're about to fight. Like if you're about to fight a bunch of destroyers, which have stronger EMP weapons, which are good against shields but bad against armor, then maxing out armor is a good idea. But if you're fighting cruisers, which have thermal guns that are the reverse of EMP weapons, then you might want to max out your shields instead of your armor. And since you can adjust this at any time, you can always adjust it before going into a fight. Just to give yourself a little bit of an edge, a little bit of optimization. Don't have enough points to get this just yet, but as you can see, it's got a charge time of 3 turns. Getting it down to 1, that's the linchpin of this entire plan. Yeah, I guess we're going to deploy the last harvester here. Not that it matters too much, because it's going to harvest this in 2 turns. And then we're going to be out of tachnium. Or at least, we're not going to have any that we can harvest, but we've got a decent amount in reserve. So we're going to be fine. For now. Once we get up to battleships and dreadnoughts, we're going to need a lot more. Yeah, we're not touching that. And we're not touching that. I really need another one of these stations so I can get up to 3 frigates in a fleet. That should let me take these on. Because I just swarmed the destroyer, just delete it immediately, and then they've only got thermal guns and kinetics. So then you can take out the frigate, and then the cruiser by itself is not very threatening. Yeah, and turn 5. Actually, first, deploy a couple destroyers, and then salvage them. Get a little more resources. look at that. They've got so many more resources. How can we possibly win? I mean, look at that. Well, obviously we're going to win. I've got it all planned out. I'm thinking 8 moves ahead. No. 9 moves ahead. So I can't really do anything with that. Yeah, I'm just going to just deploy another set of frigate, another pair. And I'm going to take this. How close am I? I've got 9 regions. It's going to take a few more turns. What have we got here? Oof. Can't take that. So I guess I'm going to move you guys up here. You can only deploy ships on top of shipyards, by the way. So like you could deploy frigates on any shipyard, but it has to be a shipyard of some kind. Just in case that wasn't clear. So I'm going to leave them here because once I get another, once I increase my fleet cap from 2 to 3, then I can immediately deploy a 3rd frigate and go take this. Whereas these guys on an engineering station can't be reinforced, even once I increase my cap. So I'm going to move them here to take this. And then hopefully find something valuable here. Although it looks like with these yellow lines that there's probably another garrison there. And this is about to run out. It says plus 320, but there's only 223 left, so that's all we're going to get. Wow. Wow. Yeah, deploy more... yeah, sure, go ahead. Deploy more ships in the middle of your territory. Go ahead. It's more wasted resources, which is more of an advantage for me. Alright, let's take this. Yeah, there is another garrison, and it's level 2. So that's not happening. I've got another harvester I can deploy, but I don't actually have anywhere to deploy it. Yeah, this is what they look like when they're depleted. They less shiny. So yeah, I'm just going to have to explore now. I guess I can deploy a couple ships here. In fact, I could deploy these 2 destroyers, and then I'll just use them to explore, because I'm not really planning to fight anything over here. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. It's the best I can do for now. See, look at that. Complete waste. They just wasted their turn. They might as well have done nothing. So some of their ships died, which means that they took a garrison. Okay. Build more. Build more. We're going to need a lot of frigates. What do we find? Nothing. Excellent. We can afford another upgrade, but it's probably just this. We're going to not do that. We're going to get these 2 first, and then we can come back and get the cheap one. The Red Menace. Oh, look, they've got battle cruisers. Cool. There's the Orange Menace, and there's the Green Menace. Click. Click. Okay, I need to find more tactium deposits. If you could just hand one to me, that would be great. Nope. Alright. That's fine. This is fine. I could upgrade this, apparently. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm looking for 340. I'm at 280. Alright. End turn. I think it would be interesting to see this if it had multiplayer, but there would definitely be a problem of somebody is attacking a garrison, and then you, as the other 3 players, just have to sit there and wait for them to do that. That would be tedious, wouldn't it? Especially since there's very little interaction between the players. Like, eventually, we're going to have, like, little border skirmishes, but it's not going to amount to much. We're mostly going to be fighting these things. Which is why, again, it feels like the game is a little incomplete in some areas. Like, there's something's not quite it feels like some ideas just didn't quite pan out the way the developers probably envisioned it. Starting to get a little sketchy with the fact that we're not finding anything. This could be an issue, especially since these fleets can be deployed at these garrisons, and then they can immediately start taking your stuff. So we need to actually make progress. All right, well, that's all I can do for now. Wow. Womp. Beep beep. Oh, look, they've got a carrier. That's what the 4 dots means. That's a carrier. And here you can see they've got, like, double battleship, a Titan, a destroyer, and a frigate. Now, the dot system is pretty intuitive, but it would be nice for the larger ones. Like, once you get past 4 dots, it gets a little confusing. It'd be nice if they, instead of dots, there was, like, triangles. So, like, the first 4 would be, like, 0 dots, 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot. And then once you get bigger than that, it goes to, like, a triangle, 2 triangles, 3 triangles. Right? So instead of having to count out the number of dots, once they change shape, they can, like, reduce the number of objects by changing the object. I think that would improve visual clarity a little bit. Although I've played the game enough that I don't need that myself. There we go. That's a big one. In fact, it's big enough that I might be able to send in 1 pair of frigates to soften them up, and then a second one to finish things off. But that would take 2 turns to capture 1 region, and I need to get up to 16 as fast as possible. So we're not going to do that just yet. Really? Really? Maybe I should have sent frigates out here, because that's a juicy target. As a matter of fact, let's drop the shields and instead get armor. This should be doable, if I play my cards right. Fleet power 200, 220. So they must have some kind of upgrade. If they've got a slightly higher fleet power. That would be the only explanation. Yeah, I'm going to take that next turn. That'll put us up to 15, and then we'll be 1 turn away from unlocking propaganda. Which, the AI might unlock it first, and then you'll get to see what that looks like. You see, moving around internally doesn't accomplish anything. You're just wasting a turn. Alright, I'm expecting more to get deployed. Or not? No, are they just going to move them around? Alright. Most of them got deployed in the center, which is... One of them got deployed... See, this is what can happen, is they can get deployed here, and then start moving and taking your stuff. That can be pretty difficult to deal with. They're definitely going to deploy more, too, so we're not exactly out of the woods. But it looks like... For the most part, we've been untouched except for red. I mean, we're going to have to deal with this eventually, but eventually isn't right now. Let's build more frigates. Got to stockpile a lot of them because we're going to burn through them quite a lot. We're going to put them everywhere once we have the opportunity to do so. Yeah, auto-resolve risk very high. We should be able to handle this. So I think I want to... It's a bit unintuitive, but I think I actually want to split my damage between them so that they use their shield booster early and don't actually get full value out of it. I think that's what I want to do here. Yeah, I want them to focus fire on 1. They might just break through the shields, though, if they focus fire on this one. Yeah, I made a mistake moving it 1 tile too far. Yeah, that was a mistake. I moved it too far forward. That's okay, though. That is manageable. Because if I focus fire on this guy, they're going to use their shield booster. He's going to use his shield booster on it, and that's going to be a very sad day. So instead, what I want to do... Yeah, I think what I want to do is I'm going to go here, and I'm going to split my attacks like this. Okay, let's see what you got. Okay, so now you're blocking the line of... Okay, good. I did get them to split their attacks. Excellent. And they also conveniently moved in a way where I have room to turn around. That's perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it. Because they could block you off from behind, which would prevent you from turning around, but they decided not to. Really? Alright. Well, that's just rude. Imagine not letting your shields break. That's just so rude. So uncivilized. And well, we've got to make sure that they... Like, once it's broken, they can't use the shield booster to recharge it, so we've got to make sure of that. And then we can throw these over there. End turn. Yep, they're going to use that. That's fine. Oh, they're probably going to break these shields, huh? Oh, well, they're splitting their missiles off. Yeah, they're going to break those shields. That's fine. Yeah, see, now they're Mark II instead of Mark I. That's why they're at 220 instead of 200. Okay. Yeah, he's trying to run away because his shields are broken. He wants to wait for them to recharge. Now, I do want to use my shield booster on the other guy, but at the same time, this kind of forces me to shoot at you, which is not exactly what I wanted. But it'll have to do. Let's move you here, recharge those shields. End turn. Yeah, we're kind of getting them to use their weapons badly. This is what we want. Okay. And you both... Okay, and they position themselves perfectly for dying. How nice of them. I do have to turn around. There's not really any great positions I can take. And of course, they live on a sliver of HP. If he can live one more turn, he can use his, yeah, he'd do that. Okay, we do get them to split the missiles off over here. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. Please live. The missiles. Please live. Of course not. Which now means this shield booster is kind of useless. And they're going to be able to use their shield boosters on each other. Yeah, I don't think these destroyers are going to win. That is unfortunate. At the very least, what I can do is take this guy out and sit right on him, behind him. That's unfortunate. Oh, he's going to teleport in front, and he's going to use the shield booster. Yeah. Which fully recharges, of course. Yeah, I think this was a waste of a turn. I could keep going, but I think I'm just going to surrender here. I don't see myself actually making any progress here. Yeah, no, this is over. Unfortunate. Maybe if I'd gotten I hadn't messed up in that first turn, I might have been able to do that. Shame. A real shame. Well, I guess I'm going to have to send a different fleet over there. Let's delete that and get a frigate instead. And then I'm going to have them crawl their way over here, capturing territories along the way. Yeah, that's the backup plan. I didn't even get one, which really sucks. At the very least, frigates don't really care about the shield booster thing because they're They're never going to break through the shields anyways. They're just relying on shield piercing entirely. So that's nice. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh, did they only get 3? I see. Now we're going to move you over here. Okay, what do we find? Oh, look, another garrison, and this one is also double destroyer. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get any... I don't think we're going to get any of these enrichment stations unless we start killing these things. It's just the way that it is. We're also just not going to get any tachnium by the looks of it. So, on the one hand, the game is playing hardball in terms of resources, but on the other hand, it's being very gentle with the Imperial fleets not being anywhere near us. So, I guess it kind of balances out. One. Oh, they're only moving 1. Interesting. Okay. 185, 477. Is that enough? Ooh, we're just shy of getting the next upgrade. Probably don't need it, though. I think we're going to be fine. Auto-resolve risk, very high. I like those odds. So, as you can see, there's 5 spaces between us. They can move forward 2, and they can shoot 2. So I only want to move 1 tile forward on the first turn. Okay, my mouse is being weird. There we go. Wouldn't want to misclick right now. That would be quite bad. So we're going to do that. Yep, they don't get to shoot. And now we can do the magic. Get behind them and fire backwards. Oh no, he can't make it. Auxiliary fuel. Move twice. So this guy basically doesn't get to shoot at us. And if only one of them is shooting at us, then obviously that gives us a pretty big advantage. My mouse is still moving weird. Here we go. Yep, and now he's dead. You can kind of see why I like the frigates. They're good at their job. Yeah, see, look at that. What are you going to do? You're going to cry. Oh no, you can't shoot them. It's so unfair. Bye-bye. Oh. Sliver of health. Yeah, you can shoot them with the missiles, but those aren't going to do much. Get a few resources. Get another station. What kind is it? A. Just like I said. Yeah, propaganda is now available. Perfect. That's what I like to hear. So I think we're going to take... Yeah, propaganda is... It's like a % chance of capturing a tile. You fire it at a tile, it has a % chance of capturing. It's more effective against targets that don't have any ships. So, you know, somewhere like here or here. But it's also more effective if you fire it from a tile that has a fleet. So from here to here might not work, even though I do want this station. Whereas firing it from here to here is pretty much definitely going to work. I mean, there's a bunch of other factors too. I think it's a bit silly. Like there's a bunch of there's some weird stuff can happen. Like if you fail and you fail really badly, it can actually convert the target to one of the other factions. So like the only way that I would ever really interact with Orange is if, like, let's say Orange uses propaganda and it fails, it can accidentally convert it to my tile. And then if it happens to be a shipyard, I could deploy ships there and mess with them. But then the problem is every turn that I spend trying to fight over there is a turn I'm not spending over here. So it's kind of a questionable tactic. It's a little bit questionable. It's very questionable. I wouldn't do that. You're going to sit there. So now these three can take this spot. You guys can go here and then take this. Three can... So I could deploy 3 here, then go here, then go here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. But not... Well, I guess I'll just deploy them now. Might as well. Engineering is now high enough that I can upgrade my frigates again. Excellent. Let's get more gun, more armor, and now we can put some points into shield. Development, still working towards 480. And that's the end of that turn. Yeah, now that we've got our 3rd frigate and we've got some decent amount of upgrades, very rapidly starts expanding the level of the garrisons that we can take on, which then gives us more stations, which then gives us more power, so we can start to snowball and start to take control of our entire territory, which then will result in us getting access to battleships and dreadnoughts. And once we've got a decent amount of those, then the game is basically over, because, like, what's the AI going to do? Ooh, sure, you've got we've got evenly matched fleets, except that I'm a human, and I can outsmart you. At that point, the game is just over. Yeah, no, nothing I'm going to do here. I'm going to move you guys here. And that's it. Yeah. End turn. So my guess would be that the game will effectively be over around turn 40 to 50, but to actually finish the game, you'd have to get to around turn 100, 110. So I'm going to skip most of that. I'm just going to load the other save file and show you what the end game looks like. Now, there is like a final boss garrison, which uses a different fleet type. So that battle theoretically could be really interesting, but by the time you get to that point, you can easily build your own fleet that can snowball whatever they've got in the final garrisons. Like around the center of the galaxy, there's tier 4 garrisons that you can't, they basically aren't available until somebody unlocks the final theory, and then suddenly you can go there, and then you have to fight your way through them, and then you can do the final theory. Yeah, no, still not quite enough. Okay. More. Let's see. Let's do a propaganda here. And we're going to move you guys up here. Auto-resolve very high. Oh no. Anyways. Confirm. So we move 1 tile forward. And you move 3 tiles forward. End turn. Get behind you. Kinetics. See, this is a very tried and true strategy. Now that they're rank 3, they've also got these thermal missiles, which I guess adds a little bit of extra damage, although I don't think it's very important. Might as well. Oh, that's a shame. Oh no! Watch out! Yeah, the AI doesn't exactly focus fire very intelligently. Not that it would make much of a difference. Let's move you 1 tile forward. Fire your guns. Yes, destroy them. Slaughter them. They stand no chance against our superior human brains. Look at that. All according to plan. I can even move away so that I can fire the missiles and then recharge the engines and get behind you. It's a truly devious strategy. Only a downright villain could come up with something so devious. I mean, the 3D models in this game look pretty good. I like the ships. They have a very, very nice aesthetic. Hey, look at that. Now we can go up to 4 frigates. And I can deploy a harvester here. Convenient. 4 frigates should take on, especially with this upgrade here. With these 3 upgrades, and being able to deploy 4 frigates into the same battle at once, things are about to get very easy. You know, at least for these Tier 1 and Tier 2 garrisons. Tier 3 get a little scarier. Although, luckily, battle cruisers are very reliant on their shields for defense, which makes their hull pretty vulnerable, which makes piercing weapons really good. So this is probably doable. Although, once they start getting battleships, and, well, I don't think they get dreadnoughts in the garrisons, but they will get battleships. And those will be a little more of a troublesome time. But that's enough of that. End turn 16. Alright, let's see what you can do. Yeah, see, look, the golden fleet is right on top of red. I mean, I'm surprised that they haven't deployed any near me. That's been pretty convenient. Like, if they do, and when they do, I'll use the subspace disruptor to lock them down as long as possible. So it's not like I don't have options against them. It's just it's just less stressful when they're not around. No, don't come this way. Don't come this way. Now, which one do I want to take first? I could do this one right now. Just drop 4 right here. It's probably not going to have anything I want, but whatever. It's fine. It's going to be a more exciting battle because there's going to be bigger ships. Extreme difficulty. Yeah, let's see about that, buddy. So we've got 2 cruisers, a frigate, and a destroyer. We're going to move 1 tile forward. We're going to form a sort of reverse arrow formation, because that means that they won't be able to actually shoot at us. They're going to move a little bit forward, and a little bit forward, and a little bit forward, and now we get to double move. So I'm going to move you there first. You can go there. You can just go straight forward like this. And we want to take out this destroyer before it actually gets to do anything. Slightly, just a little bit shy. Okay, so we're going to move you there. Move you here. Take him out. Perfect. You can shoot at the enemy frigate, because that's our next target. Recharge engines. Move over there. Move over here. Yeah, see, he doesn't really do anything. Now, he could have turned over this way and shot at my frigate, but he didn't, so sucks to suck, I guess. Let's see, does that take it out? No. Does that take it out? Yes. And then we can use the remaining ones on this guy. And just fire everything. Let's move 1 tile closer. Guns. Guns. Hit him with the DACA. See, look at that. What's he going to do now? What are they going to do? Like, sure, cruisers are a bit more armor heavy than they are shield heavy, but even then, they're screwed. This is the power of frigate spam. The best strategy in any game and every game. So the safest spot is directly behind him. And, in fact, I can even provide him a juicy target to shoot at, so that he hopefully doesn't shoot at the one that's low on shields. Yeah, use your torpedoes. Go ahead. Yep. Go ahead. Yeah, what are you going to do about it, huh? Nothing. You're going to lose. Good day, sir. click through all of them as fast as possible to do all the damage. And it's over. So look at that. 4 frigates versus an equal number of ships, but they're bigger. And with our superior strategies, we win. You can now construct battlecruisers, which are useless to me. Let's see. Might as well grab this. Get the shield generator cooldown a little bit shorter. Yeah, I basically want to grab... Those first 4 are pretty important. These next ones, not as important. Although leveling them up is still pretty good to get more stats. And a few more abilities. And then once we've done that, we basically want to save up our engineering and development points so we can get upgrades for the battleships and the dreadnoughts once we unlock them. So I think I'm going to propaganda this station, and then I'm going to send these guys downwards. And then they can go down from here and then go to the right. So I might not even need these guys. Yeah. But things are coming along very smoothly. Once we got over that. And you have to get over that initial hump, which is kind of an issue in a lot of games, where the higher difficulty really just makes the early game difficult. But once you get past the early game, it kind of, like the early... There's like the difficulty curve is kind of like a wall on the highest difficulty, where the early game is really hard, but once you get past that, this isn't unique to this game. A lot of games have that issue. Yeah, see, look, the Golden Armada just captured one of their things. I guess that's a them problem, not a me problem. Oh, hey, more frigates. Let's do that. And then I can deploy a fleet here, which can then capture this station. I mean, it's the same fleet, so it's just going to be a repeat. Same action, same baction. No, faction would be a real word that rhymes with action. Same faction, same action. I should have come up with that first. That sounds way smarter. We're fighting the same faction, we're going to be doing the same action. Yeah, see, I should have led with that, because that actually sounds clever. As opposed to baction. That's not clever, that's nonsense. Although some people find nonsense to be clever. Alright. Well, regardless, I'm winning. So, I mean, really, does it matter? Does it matter? Yeah, sure, the enemies might make fun of me for saying silly things, but at the end of the day, I killed them, so who cares? Remember, kids, nobody can laugh at you if they're dead. That's what I learned on the playground. Alright, and then we're going to launch some missiles and hope RNG lets us kill them. Nope. How about this one? That's statistically very unlikely for all 6 to fail. 28% shield pierce chance. That's purely from the... They don't... thermal missiles don't have an innate pierce chance. That 28% is purely from the fleet-wide bonus that frigates provide. Which can sometimes be a downside with EMP weapons. Right? If you pair a frigate with a destroyer, the EMP weapons are designed to take out shields, but some of the shots are going to pierce through shields because the frigate is giving it a shield piercing chance. It's a bit weird. It's a bit strange like that. Let's move 1 tile forward and shoot. We do a little shooting. Move 1 tile forward, which is the perfect range to hit both thermal missiles and kinetic guns. I think I want to move you forward again because that's the safest spot, especially since there's another cruiser that could turn around and shoot you. Yeah, see, the missiles are going to fire at that one. That's a non-issue. You're going to fire at a completely different target. Sure. I mean, I'm not going to stop you from making a bad decision. Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. Not that I could. This is a video game. But hypothetically speaking. Oh, wow. Already. Alright. Sure. Why not? I think he's going to use his jump drive here, so I don't really need to bother doing, like, running all the... Yes, he's going to do that. Maybe I should have moved closer, because I thought he would go down here and shoot at one of these guys, but instead he's shooting at this one, which is not what I expected. I mean, he still did it wrong. He should have, like, he should have moved one tile closer so he could use his main guns. He just chose not to for no reason. So, like, even something basic like that, the AI is not capable of making very good decisions. Man, look at this movement. Main engines, 3 tiles. Like, look at that. It's ridiculous. We're going to fire, because you can hit your own ships if they're in the way, so you want to shoot first before moving this guy here. Just like that. Okay, so he survived. I'm going to move you right behind there. Yep, he's going to shoot that guy because he's in the firing arc, but that's fine, because if he's shooting that guy, he's not shooting this guy. And if he's not shooting this guy, then this guy gets to live. Would you do the honors? Look at that. Once again, an easy, clean kill. What if he got here? More cruisers, not really what I'm looking for. And I've got another harvester, so 485, this one's 1100. Well, I'm going to deploy it at the spot that's got more stuff left. Oh, engineering, let's get to level 4. Armor hardener. Yep, that's what it's called. And now we've got 420 shields and 420 armor. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. That's just how the game works. So look, the AI is just not capable of making very good decisions. I mean, it does good enough, I guess. Like, designing AI is pretty challenging. See, look at that. There's the disruptor. That was the thing. They did the thing. That's what that looks like. Hey, they moved away. Were they listening to me? Maybe they're a fan of the channel. That would be interesting. Your enemies make bad decisions because they're a fan of the channel and they don't want you to bully them in a video. That would be very... Well, that would be very overpowered. I guess that would be sort of a corollary to streamer luck for people who aren't streaming but making videos. Okay, where do I want to move next? Definitely not that. That's inconvenient because there's not really any good spots I can deploy from to take these. Although I do want them. Now, I guess I'm going to move you guys down. No, actually, I'll move you guys. Might as well. Yeah, we'll do that. And that's the end of that turn. Yeah, go ahead. Deploy more fleets. Yeah, no, yeah. Go ahead. Make suboptimal moves. Go for it. You got all these ships, but you don't know how to use them. It's like they say. Something size doesn't matter. Something ocean. Something like... I don't remember the exact details, but I'm sure, just based off of that, you can recall. Oh, hey, look. I think that's what I'm talking about. They did a propaganda and it went badly, so they accidentally gave red a tile. Although it doesn't seem like red is doing anything with it, so it's probably not a shipyard. Which means that they won't be able to do anything with it. Okay. 800 versus 300. Yeah, I think I'm going to deploy another harvester here. And I'm going to take this tile. Well, first, let's do a little propaganda. And take this. More engineering. Lovely. Now I'm going to move out. Risk moderate. Hold on. 372, 472. I mean, this is... I assume if I do auto-resolve, I'm going to lose 1 or 2 ships. Whereas if I just do this manually, I'm going to lose nothing. So here's Armor Hardener. This is what it does. Friendly fire. Except not. It increases their armor hardening, which makes the armor more hard. It's pretty useful. It effectively reduces the damage your armor takes by 50% for like some percentage of the armor. I think something like that. So obviously it's going to be more effective on ships that have more armor, which is... So like you can see how as you upgrade them, they transition from being hunter-killers to being more support ships, so that there's synergy between them. Because the big ships don't have things like Armor Hardener, and there's a corollary for shields, like a shield booster. But you only get those on smaller ships. So the idea is you use your smaller ships with these Armor Hardeners and Shield Hardeners to support your bigger ships. And as a result, having a mixed fleet composition ends up being more effective than just spamming big ships, which is true. But that's also kind of why I'm spamming frigates, because they kill things in the early game, and then late game you just use them to support your bigger ships. And then you can kind of skip over all the stuff in the middle. Yeah, you guys are so dead. You didn't stand a chance. It was over before it even begun. You can huddle up behind each other all you like. My frigates have too much movement. We're winding up your sides like a sidewinder. Now let's move a little bit closer. Get those missiles. Yeah, the first one didn't make it. Second one also didn't make it. Third time's the charm. No. Well, I'm going to use all the kinetic guns on this guy anyways. Alright. Alright, 4. It's taking 4 this time. You're going to do it, right? Yes. Excellent. So I'll move you here. I guess I'll move you to this back spot. So that because that blocks him from turning around, which means he's not going to be able to use his main guns. Oh, he actually moved correctly so that he could use his main guns. I mean, that's always been an option for them. They just usually don't take it because it's as simple as that. Is they don't take it because. It's another down. It builds destroyers? No, it builds cruisers. Don't really care. Then I'm going to take this one next turn. Yeah. Let's see. I need 1140 and armor repairer. I haven't even unlocked that yet. That's the next thing. And then thermal missiles, 15%. I mean, thermal missiles are a small percentage of the ship's damage in the first place. And then getting 15% is not a big bonus for a big cost. Micro jump drive, reducing the recharge time by 1 is not a big deal, and I also don't have it unlocked yet. And then they also get EMP guns. Again, 20% is still less than 30%, and they also don't have them unlocked yet. So you can kind of see that these are a lot less important, and these 3 are really good. So for the most part, I'm going to save development points, because the Dreadnought is kind of the reverse, where this one, the early upgrades are really important. The Dreadnought, the very last upgrade on the Dreadnought, the most expensive development cost in the game, that upgrade is, you want to get it first, because it's really, really good. It's a game changer. it is hard to understate how powerful that upgrade is. So I'm gonna want to save up enough points to get it immediately. Once I unlock the Dreadnought, of course. Got to get to that point first. In turn 20. A bold move. You are definitely losing that fleet. You are... Oh! No, okay, that was a smart move. Okay. Yes, using your disruptor to lock them down was a smart move. Never mind. Oh, here it comes. Remember the beginning of the video? Yeah, this is what you used them for. You get to delete an entire... You get to delete a lot of stuff. Like, there's no way that Orange could take that fleet on, so you get to delete them. And the black hole that they leave behind has tachnium, so you can harvest it for resources. Very effective. It also has the side effect of destroying any stations that are there, so, you know, maybe don't use that on a station that you want to take. Wow, they are really just leaving me alone, huh? Like, normally at this point, I'd be kind of panicking because one of them is starting to eat into the side of my territory. But again, you know, sometimes they move in the wrong direction, and you also have a subspace disruptor to lock them down for several turns. So, it's, even if they're doing that, it is manageable. Don't get it twisted. It is manageable. It's just stressful. Whereas in this game, they've decided to make it very stress-free. They're going easy, which is an interesting choice. An interesting strategic move. Wait. I might be able to get it with just the 2. Although that's probably a bit too... It's a bit too risky. Let's not do that. Let's be reasonable about this. Yes, let's be reasonable. Confirm. Alright. I mean, I don't really need the armor hardener, but it does give me a little bit of an extra safety net, so I might as well. Yeah, let's move there. One tile forward. End turn. Yeah. Zip Zop Zabow. We've seen this song and dance before. We know how it ends. I keep misclicking. It's a little annoying. Let's get behind the cruiser, shoot the enemy frigate. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Cry about it? Piss your pants, maybe? Alright, 1 doesn't do it. Let's go for 2. 2 doesn't do it. Let's go for 3. Third time's the charm for this RNG. That rhymes. It's like a little Dr. Seuss poem about killing people. Which is, of course, what all Dr. Seuss poems are secretly about. I mean, with a little liberal, you know, a liberal interpretation, of course. I mean, anything can be about killing people if you're brave enough. Let's kill you. Oh. It only took the 1. Alright, let's get this moving along. I'd really like to unlock some battleships sometime soon, but of course it's not going to be here. It's too far inwards. We've got to... It's probably going to be these guys, the Tier 3 garrisons, that are going to get battleships, but to get there, I've only got 2 here, so I'm going to have to... Yeah, I think I'm going to deploy... I'm going to deploy 4 here, and then I'm going to have to move through territory I already occupy, which is a bit lame, but then I can get to here, and then here, and then here. Because these guys are not going to do much. Yeah, that's the only plan I've got. And at the same time, for territories like this and this, I'm just going to use propaganda to claim those. See the standings. Military power is still the lowest, but domain influence, capturing the most regions, tied with orange. Research progress. Orange is ahead of us, for now. But that's going to change. Let's see. Yep, deploy everything if you like. It shan't make... Did they just deploy 4 carriers on the same tile? Sure. I mean, carrier spam away. More power to you. But I don't think I've ever seen that before. Usually they do, well, this, where they've got a mixture of every ship type. That's what they normally do. So seeing them stack 4 carriers on the same tile has to be some kind of miracle of RNG. That is very weird. Yeah, they're deploying a bunch more fleets, but again, they're deploying them... They're bullying red, like they're deploying all of their fleets either in the center of the map, which is not really an issue, or they're deploying them to bully red. I guess they just have it out for red today. Alright, let's get a little propaganda going. Not a sentence I usually say, but in this case, it's appropriate. I mean, deploying this harvester actually doesn't matter. They're both about to finish up anyways. Yeah. And turn. Swoosh. Drop them in. Well, I don't even know why you would want to move that there. There's got to be 0 advantages to doing that. Yeah, see, here we go. That's potentially a threat. It just depends on what direction it moves. Bye-bye. Yeah, they are really bullying red, huh? Man, I can just build 3 frigates every turn, and it's never going to burn through this technium. That's how cheap they are. And it means that even if I lose a bunch of them because I'm getting attacked from all sides, I'm always going to have more. Like, I'm just not going to run out of them. That's why you keep building them. They're cheap enough that you can do it, and it lets you kind of throw them away if you need to. So, destroyer, destroyer, destroyer. No, those are cruisers with 1 destroyer. So mostly thermal weapons means that they're not going to have a very good time against shields. Speaking of, because they're mostly thermal weapons, I'm going to invest in shielding for this battle. This could be the difference between losing losing nothing versus losing a couple frigates. It also depends on just what the AI decides to do. We will find out. Hold on. 472 versus 706. So, hypothetically, we have no chance. Practically, it's easy as done. Well, not that easy, because these are going to be higher. Yeah, Oh, they're only Mark II. Well, I guess it's not so bad. Alright. Armor Hardener's definitely going to be relevant this time. Let's make good use of it. Alright. Bada bing, bada boom. Everybody's hardened up. Harder than a metapod, you might even say. Okay. Yeah, we want to kill that destroyer as soon as possible because that's the biggest threat here, because it's the only anti-shield weaponry they've got. I mean, it's the same as always, but in this case, it's very important because as soon as our shields go down, those thermal guns are going to be brutal to deal with. 160 destroyers. If you say so. Now you can see some of them are getting through because of the shield piercing bonus from the frigate. Alright, let's finish them off with missiles. How does RNG play today? That's 3. And going all the way to 4. Don't make me use the kinetic guns. Okay, just barely got through. Good. That means we can focus on killing this thing. So I want you here. I want you here. Oh, wait. I don't think I did this formation correctly. Ah, well, whatever. This is fine. Yeah, see all these thermal weapons? This is why we upgraded the shields instead of the armor for this battle. You can see some of the missiles actually caught on their friend there. Yeah. We came prepared, my friends. We came prepared. Alright, let's take you out. Let's put you out of your misery. Or I guess I should say, put you out of my misery. Alright. You are the next target. We're going to ignore the one at the bottom. At least for now. You're the most vulnerable, so you're going to go in the center of the formation. Uh-oh. Well, I guess I'm losing a frigate. Good night. Yeah, there's the torpedoes. And now the main guns. Yeah. This one's going to live. Blah. Blah. And then he's going to fire some missiles. Oh, no, his missiles are on cooldown, I guess. Not the best strategy. Usually you want to, if you're going to teleport, you want to do more than just teleport behind you, nothing. Like, yeah, you can teleport behind me, nothing personal, kid. But if you don't actually have a follow-up, then it's not a very good move. Yeah, what are you going to do now? Nothing. Oh, no, he's got missiles, okay. So he's going to do a little something. But this guy can now turn his shields back on. So he's safe. Not quite. There we go. So look at that. We actually did lose one frigate. I guess you could say that this was a pretty tough battle, huh? Even though we were outnumbered and outmatched in terms of size. And we lost one frigate to 5. I'd say we did okay. Okay, now I've got to go there to block him from turning around. So he's going to teleport instead. Uh-oh. Okay, good. He chose the wrong one. Perfect. If he chose this one with the full barrage of all of his weapons, he could probably kill it. No, he could definitely kill it. But he didn't choose to do that, so we're fine. And that is that. What do we unlock? Carriers, which I also do not want. But what I can do, upgrade these to Mark V, get more weapon firepower, more... Yeah, we're going to go back into armor. Which unfortunately means we're not at 420 anymore. I know, very sad. You can mourn, feel free to mourn. 15% extra damage, I mean, it's something, but again, I'd rather save these points for when I unlock battleships and dreadnoughts. That's going to be more valuable. I can replace that immediately. Like, that loss is effectively meaningless. See, look, they've got a battleship here, but I'm not worried about that, because... Oh, this also has a battleship. See, this one doesn't have a battleship. Ah, but from this position, I have to go through the battleship to get to this one, when this one is so much easier. This probably... That's unfortunate. I'm probably going to have to attack this tile twice, but at the very least, it is right next to a shipyard, so I can attack it, and then immediately attack it again the next turn. And then whatever it's guarding is probably... It's either going to be one of these, which will then let me get up to 5 frigates, or it's a battleship, or it's a dreadnought. And any of those 3 options is really good right now. Alright, I'm going to pick up where I left off and stitch these videos together into one super video, instead of splitting them up. So, where was I? Well, it looks like it was the end of my turn. I could deploy a harvester, but yeah, that's meaningless when both of these are about to finish anyways. I'm already building all of my frigates. Yeah, there's nothing for me to do. Development I'm saving up. Engineering isn't high enough to do anything. Yeah, it's time to move on. Go, go, Red Ranger. Go, go, Orange Ranger? Propaganda worked. Uh-oh. Oh, there's the disruptor, which that's kind of odd because yes, they used a tachnium warhead there, just like this, and created a deposit of tachnium, but then they let the Empire move their fleet there and claim the deposit. Not exactly the most efficient use of your resources. What I would have done is moved my fleet forward to hold that point, and then use the subspace disruptor to lock their fleet down in a position where they can't take the deposit. Wow, that was a waste. Now, if I remember correctly, Orange is the only one that has any significant research progress anyways, so I'm looking like I'm in a pretty good spot. Yeah. Oh, it looks like Red is slightly ahead of me. Although that's about to change. Build more. Build more. Actually, I might actually put frigate construction on pause soon, because 32 is going to be a lot. Let's see, propaganda campaign. What do I want to take? Got all this territory. There's nothing I can really grab over here. You're never going to grab a garrison with that. So it's just the left side where I'm looking at. Okay, and so there's a few lanes that I don't know where they attach. Like, I wouldn't want to grab this one because I already see all the points it connects to. So I'm going to grab this one, or this one, because grabbing them will reveal what they're connected to. I think I'm going to start up here. Really? Now that has to be very unlikely. I have a fleet here, launching to an unoccupied space, and it didn't work. Wow. To be fair, the AI did waste theirs, so it's not like I'm falling majorly behind just because one percentage rule didn't work out. It's just a bit unfortunate. Yeah, I think the best move that I can make here is to chip away at this. I am not taking all of this out with just 4 frigates, but I can soften them up and then probably finish the job next turn. Yeah, there's not really anything else. Well, I could move these over here to grab this, and... No, that two wouldn't be enough, so I'd have to deploy an entirely new fleet anyways, which would then take another turn to move, which would be nice to have that patrol option I was talking about, because then I could deploy 2 here, patrol them into this spot, and then move them forward. But since I can't do that, these 2 frigates are kind of... serve no purpose. Alright. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do this. I want to take this one so that I can open the way over to this tile here, and this one's going to be a lot easier. No battleship to worry about. In fact, because it's a carrier which mostly relies on shields, battlecruisers which mostly rely on shields, and then these 2, destroyers and frigates can be wiped out pretty quickly. Might be able to take it with 4, although it's definitely questionable. This one, not so much, but we're going to have to do it. Yeah, wait, what's the power difference? 512 versus about 1300. Shipmaster, they outnumber us 3-1. Then it is an even fight. Alright, so we want to inflict as many losses as possible. So here's the battlecruiser. You can see its shields are significantly stronger than its armor, which is great for me. this is the destroyer, then there's the frigate. In fact, as you can see, the cruiser has more armor than the battlecruiser, although the battlecruiser's weapons are more dangerous. It's mostly relying on its shields here, which is really good for me, so I'm probably going to want to take that out. Similarly, the carrier, more so relying on shields. And then the battleship has a ton of armor. It's going to be a pain. Definitely not taking it out right now. Right, and of course, most ships up to this point have had only 2 tiles of range, but once you get up to battlecruisers and battleships, they actually have 3 tiles of range. So that's something to keep in mind, because it can move forward 2 tiles, and then it has 3 tiles of range. So I want to stay here. I don't want this to move forward. Alright, let's deploy the armor hardening. Which is a very normal name for a support weapon. Don't laugh. It's a very serious. It was designed by Dr. John Hardener. This is a serious matter. Okay. I also like how there's always like a space station in the background. It would be nice if there was more, like maybe instead of having it just in the background, if the station was like part of the map and it did stuff. I think that would be really cool. So it's a bit unfortunate that they just kind of exist in the background, but at the very least they look pretty. Yeah, so that's just going to be my first turn. And then, yeah, it's going to deploy some corvettes. And that's going to launch shield hardener, as you can see there. And the battleship is going to move forward as much as possible. Now, if I remember, I think battlecruisers might have 3 tiles of movement. I mean, they do have those big engine cells, so if I remember correctly, they both have 3 tiles of, or that might be an upgrade. I don't know if they start with 3 tiles of movement. A little bit fuzzy on that one. Okay, so it's a question of what do I take out first. I definitely want to sit behind the battleship because this thing has some plasma cannons that are very dangerous. Both the battlecruiser and both of these have EMP weapons, so if I can take both of them out, that could be a good idea. It's a much more balanced fleet, though. I guess it's a question of, I don't know if I have enough damage to take it out in 1 turn. In fact, I almost certainly don't. Is it worth going straight for the battlecruiser, or is it worth going for, like, the smaller ships first? Yeah, let's attack the battlecruiser. It's going to be more exciting that way. Yeah, I think it takes 5. 5 kinetic shots, so only 4 is a little bit short. Yeah, let's get you over here. Get everyone in position. I'd actually like to see what I'm doing before moving. 325 armor. Yeah, this is not going to be enough, even if it 100% gets through the shield, which it won't. But it is oh so tantalizingly close. Alright. Okay, good. The battleship doesn't do anything. The carrier doesn't do anything. I'm going to take some EMP shots. That's fine. It's going to shoot the thermal guns into the shields. That's fine. It's going to shoot the EMP into the armor. That's good for me. And the kinetic guns are going to do some serious damage, but not much I can do about that. Oh. Okay, the last corvette blocked its friend from actually shooting at the same target, so he lived. Incredible. And I've got the armor repairer now, so fix her up. I should be able to finish this off with thermal missiles. If I can't, this is going to be a little bit of a waste. Oh, there we go. So I did take out the battlecruiser pretty quickly. That's good. I think the next target's got to be the destroyer. So I can definitely take that out immediately. Wow, that was pretty good. Those are some pretty good rolls. Okay, so I've got kinetic guns, kinetic guns. You've already used everything. I'm thinking I want to take out... Do I just rush the carrier? That's a question in my mind. I think, yeah. I think I want to rush the carrier and get into formation right here with these 4 tiles. And then I'm going to ignore a lot of the other stuff. I'm going to ignore the corvettes and... the only problem is, of course, thermal... once you get up to carriers, they have point defense that can shoot down missiles, so these are going to be less effective. Which makes me want to use the missiles on something else. I should... Assuming all my frigates live, I can take it out in 2 turns with just the kinetic guns. But this one is definitely vulnerable. I think the safest spot to put you is here. Yeah, we're going to go with this. And then I'm going to use the thermal missiles on a corvette. Yeah, that did half. It's going to depend on RNG, whether or not enough of them get through to actually matter. Come on. Nope, RNG is not favoring me there. Unfortunate. Alright, well... If it can live one more turn, I can recharge the shields. And that would be really good. Yeah, here come thermal missiles, right into the shields. That's where I want them. He's going to turn, so now it should be able to shoot at something. Oh, it's shooting at the same target. Huh, that's unusual. And this frigate is right where the carrier's launching EMP missiles into armor. That's fine. Yeah, he's in position to get shot at. And then the missiles are going to finish the job. And then this frigate can probably take out my frigate, and then I'm going to fail to take out... Yeah, there's no way I'm taking out the carrier now. I should have just gone for their frigate, instead of trying to take the carrier. That was too ambitious. Oh well. I can probably still take out their frigate. I just need to survive a turn. Can I get you behind the battleship? 1, 2, 3. Not exactly, but I can try. Yeah, I can't block it from turning around. That's unfortunate. I guess the best I can do is get behind you like this, so that at least the cruiser can't do anything. And then hope that I can actually finish this off. There's a corvette. There's a corvette. Yep. There's the plasma cannons. And then it's going to move, because the battleship also gets auxiliary fuel tanks. Okay, so it's going to use its teleporter, and it's too far to use its main guns. So I should be able to lift this. That's just the AI making a foolish decision. Oh, it doesn't even have its missiles on cooldown. Okay, yeah, I can get the enemy frigate. The frigate. Let's just get right up there. There we go. Okay. Well, I'm going to fire my kinetic guns at you. I doubt I'm going to actually finish you off, but I'm going to try. Seriously? Alright. Well, let's see what we can do. Get you over here. Get you slightly out of the way. We can move you over here, do a little repair. Fire thermal missiles at this, hopefully finish it off. Wow, that is some bad RNG. Although, to be fair, once I lost 2 frigates, that cut the shield pen in half, from 28 to 14. So maybe it's not that bad. Yeah, neither of you can... I've got to wait 1 turn, and then I can turn those back on. Oh, yeah, of course, and those also have a repair, which undoes most of the damage that I did. Because I failed to finish off the corvette. EMP into the armor is fine. Ooh, just barely living that, and then it's gonna... no, it's not gonna repair. And now we're not gonna live that. Yeah, we're not getting anything else. I might as well surrender at this point. Unfortunately, you can't surrender during the enemy's turn, so I've got to wait. But yeah, even if I turn on the shield, and it's basically... as you can see, it's got most of its armor hardening, most of its armor, and shields are back on. I'm not going to be able to kill anything else, and these Corvettes don't matter because they're just spawned in by the carrier. So destroying those doesn't actually accomplish anything. I'm going to have to call that. That's still some good damage. I got a battlecruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer. That means the next fleet should have some pretty good chances. Because there's just the carrier, the cruiser, and the battleship. Alright. End turn. That was exciting. It was wild. It was crazy. There was carnage and bloodshed everywhere. Finally get to fight some different ships besides the three basic ones at the tier 1 garrisons. Yeah, I didn't win, but you've got to remember, frigates are very cheap. The 4 of them only cost me 200 tachnium, and the losses that I inflicted, I mean, I don't think the Empire really keeps track of resources, but if they did, then the losses that I inflicted would be very significant. Although, as you can see, they have a ton of fleets. But, you know, those fleets don't really matter, because the thing that matters is actually taking these garrisons and getting access to more shipyards. Now, this guy did move a little bit closer, which I don't like. We're just going to have to deal with that. Alright, we're going to go in for round 2. Hey guys, remember me? I'm back. Back for more action. So we move you here. Get a little hard. It's a simple formation. Simple reverse arrow formation. Very effective. Yeah, and they're only going to move 1 tile forward this time. It's a little more timid on their part. Although, it doesn't really matter, because I have so much movement on these things. I'm going to catch up and get right behind them anyways. So this has 1400 armor, so yes, the cruiser is the most... or not the cruiser, the carrier has less armor than the cruiser, so it's going to be easier to kill with these kinetics. Although I probably should just kill... yeah, I'm definitely going to kill the Corvettes first, because they're very fragile, and if I don't kill them, they're going to be a problem. Partly because the kinetic guns are going to present some significant damage to us, and partly because they have repair beams that they can use to undo the damage that we're going to do to the carrier. And I don't like that. I would rather my damage actually sticks. Alright, end turn. Yeah, he can't do anything. The carrier's just going to move forward. Thermal guns into the shields is a non-issue. Okay. Let's get some cannons going. Let's move you over here. Let's fire some more. I might be able to do this without using the missiles. If I can save the missiles for the cruiser... oh, that's... wow, that went pretty well. If I can save the missiles for the cruiser, that would be ideal. Because it's the only ship they have left that doesn't have point defense. Okay, so we're going to put you... yeah, we're going to put you there again. Let's get you there. Perfect. It's going to fire its thermal missiles backwards at that guy. That's fine. As long as it's not firing its plasma cannons, it's not that dangerous. Easy peasy. We're going to fire everything into the cruiser. But we're actually going to go huddle up behind the battleship. Now, it does have auxiliary fuel, which does mean, in theory, it could move away, then use its auxiliary fuel to turn around and shoot at us. We'll see if the AI figures that out. Sometimes it does that, sometimes it doesn't. There's the torpedoes. Okay, but it's already fired its guns at something else, so that means that this ship is basically safe. Yes! Okay. We're looking really good here. I don't think this is going to finish it off. It might. No, okay. Gotta use the guns. So you're waiting for your shields to recharge, so I'll put you directly behind him. You can fire there, we can fire here. And this thing has some pretty intense armor, so this is going to take a while. And you are going to get fired at by the missiles, aren't you? But that's fine, because the missiles will finish off the shields. Like, the shield recharge doesn't start until the shields break. So letting it break them just barely is actually fine here. You can turn your shields back on, and it looks like we're going to get a clean kill here. The sacrifice of the first fleet was not in vain. Look at that. Shields back on. We're feeling good. Alright, now, you should be able to see point defense here. Yeah, there. You can hear that. So now, a lot of the missiles are going to get stopped. Now, I don't know if firing them all at the same time actually makes a difference. I don't think it does. I think it's just a % chance. But I have no idea. I'm just making that up. I'm just assuming. Because it would be weird for a turn-based game to want you to, like, click as fast as possible to fire all your missiles at once. That would be strange. That would be a very strange design choice. The armor hardener has recharged, but I don't think anybody's actually lost their hardening, so I don't think I can actually use it yet. I guess we're suffering from success in that regard. Oh, I should have put this guy further back so he would eat the missile volley and then have a chance to recharge his shields. You know, at least in theory. Not that it... Oh! Wow, look at that! He actually used his auxiliary fuel to turn around. And then used an EMP volley. And now the plasma's going to hurt. Just barely survived thanks to the armor hardening. Look at that. And now I can repair it. And then I can move over here. You know what? I'm going to use the repair to get that last... No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. But I can use the armor hardening. And look at that. We are getting this so easily. I mean, there's kind of no point in actually applying that because the enemy was dead anyways. But just to show them how much of a lead we had and how little we care about the threat that they pose. Just to flex on them. Now we can build dreadnoughts. That's what I like to hear. And this deposit has 2,600 tachnium. You can start harvesting that because we need it. Because we're building a dreadnought. It costs 1,200 and it takes 5 turns. There goes all of my resources. Bye-bye. Okay. Yeah, we can't quite get the one that I want. This one. Plasma blasters is just an insanely good weapon. Right now it only does 1,100 damage versus armor and 966 versus shields. But once we start applying more points, let's see, between these I'll take out of shields and put them into weapons. Once we start putting more points into weapons, and we get this upgrade that increases it by 30%, this thing can start doing like 2,000 damage. But the cool thing is not only does this increase the damage by 30%, it reduces the cooldown by 1 turn. So instead of waiting 3 turns, you're only waiting 2 turns. If you also get the cooldown upgrade for the micro jump drive, this thing here, then what you do is you just kind of wait the first couple of turns. You sit back, you don't do anything, and you wait for both, because both of these will then charge up at the same time. You teleport behind the enemy, nothing personnel kid, fire off plasma blasters, and just one-shot pretty much everything. It's a very effective strategy. Not exactly what you think of when you think of a dreadnought, teleporting behind people and then one-shotting them. That's more like an assassin type deal, but it works. It's really good. Yeah, I don't really want any of this. And engineering. Yeah, 1580 to upgrade it to Mark 6. Yeah, I'm going to use these points over here instead. Get more weapon fire and more armor. Let's see. Yeah, it's now up to 1200. It's getting close to 1300 damage already. Ooh, plasma blasters deal 10%. Yeah, so this gives them 30% and reduces the cooldown, which is really important. And then you can get another 10% off of this. You really, really get a lot of value out of these plasma blasters. It also just looks really cool, because it's not like a regular cannon, right? It's thermal cannon. These are regular cannons. These things, they just look really cool. On top of being effective. It's kind of the best combination you can ask for. That being said, next round I'm going to go for this. Hopefully I can get battleships too, because both you want to... It's usually better to have a mix of battleships and dreadnoughts instead of just doing one. Especially since it takes so long to build them, like 5 turns to build them. That sort of limits how many you can have. Whereas if you have both battleships and dreadnoughts being built at the same time, you can field a lot more. Yeah, alright, that's going to be end of turn 25. That is a tiny fleet. Wow. Tiny for the AI anyways. With 3 frigates in my hands can do a lot of work. Are they still trying that? Oh look, they gave it to me. They sent so many propaganda at that same tile over and over and failed every time. And then they failed so hard that they gave it to me. The green player is just a clown at this point. That's funny. He's also losing in basically every respect, except military power, which I believe only counts the ships that you've deployed. The ones that you have in reserve here aren't counted there. I'm sure if I deployed all of my massive frigate armada, that would change. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop building more. That's enough. That's enough frigates. Propaganda. Okay, this time give it to me. Come on. There we go. Oh, look at that. It also has a tachnium deposit. Not a big one, but enough. It's kind of useful. Well, it looks like we're stuck doing the same thing, which is this. Now, the enemy fleet is easier this time, but we're probably still going to lose here. Even without a battleship, I don't think we can take on 2 battle cruisers and a carrier and support ships. But we are going to inflict as much damage as possible. Alright, everyone's hardened up. Let's go. Yeah, that shield hardening does not matter to me, which is nice. Oh, you know what? The carrier is the centerpiece of the fleet, and that's not going to be able to shoot at anything anyways, so I probably should have just moved further forward regardless. That would have been wise. Alright, well, we're going to kill you. Yeah, moving a little bit further forward would have been good. Because, well, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter too much because we're killing it anyways. So being able to get exactly behind it isn't that important. Alright, your turn. Go for it. Yeah, those EMP cannons at a range of 3. And... oh, you fire the shield hardener at the cruiser. Interesting choice. Yeah, you can split your damage as much as you like. Yep. So, gonna try and take out the corvettes with missiles. Because I want to save all my kinetics for this guy. Ooh. The RNG is not good there. It's not favorable. How do I want to position? Well, I do need to get you into position to shoot at that. Okay. At the very least, Let's move you out of the way. Yeah, I'm not sure I can actually get this. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good idea to move you here because this prevents the destroyer from turning around. Yeah, it's slightly shy. That's just the shield-piercing RNG. Okay. Getting a little concerning. Let's just hope that one of these gets through. It only takes one. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, where do I want to reposition you? I guess, yeah, I'll just put you over here. You're going to get shot at. That's fine. And let's try to keep you at a bit of a distance so that you don't get targeted. Or maybe I do want you to get targeted. Like, getting hit with cruiser missiles would probably be fine. And there's a massive EMP volley. That's fine. That hurts. Oh, yeah, no, they're going to kill that. And then the frigate's going to finish the job. Or they're going to use EMP to finish the job. I mean, yeah, you can do that. That is an option. All I'm saying is it's not what I would do. Do I want to finish off the corvettes instead? No, I think I'm going to go straight for the destroyer. You know, so at least get that kill on the destroyer. And then I'll worry about whether or not I want to take out the corvettes. Is it going to live? Okay. I think the answer is yes. Whew. Alright. Close. But he made it. We can recharge the shields, repair the armor. That looks good. Alright, can we finish off this stupid little corvette with thermal missiles? That would be nice. Come on. How much damage do these do? 184. Yeah, okay, that can finish off the armor. Now that the shields are gone, it can definitely finish off the armor. And we can kill this with some kinetics. It just barely lived. So we're going to have to finish you off like this. And then we're going to sit and park like this. And turn. Alright, there's some EMP. That's fine. This is acceptable. You're going to teleport. Ooh, that's bad. He's close enough to use his guns. That's rough. I don't think he's going to make it. Yeah, and then the missiles are going to finish the job. And if it didn't, then the enemy frigate would finish the job. Instead, the enemy frigate's going to shoot at that, but I'm going to live that. That's fine. I'm going to live that too. Barely. We're going to live that. Let's get a little repair. I think the enemy carrier is about to deploy more ships. I think it's about to deploy more corvettes. So this is starting... Oh, come on. Now that's just sad. I think this is looking like the end. Let's get behind the cruiser. Yeah. It's got more corvettes. I got the timing exactly right. Oh wow, they didn't... So they didn't repair, and one of them just decided to not do anything, I guess. Kind of an odd choice. Does mean I can finish that off. Now, can I actually kill the cruiser from here? Probably not, but it's not impossible. I'm going to play this one out. I'm not going to surrender yet. Yeah, it's not likely, but it's possible. Oh, it moved first and then fired. Okay, now it's impossible. Yeah, it's not happening with one. Two, maybe. One, not happening. But all that's left is a single carrier and a single cruiser, so that's going to be easy. We'll get that next turn. It's 1980, right? Yeah, or 1920. Just shy of 2000. That's what I'm waiting for. Turn 26. Wow, this is getting a little weird. We got a... Well, that's a good use for one of those, although you are destroying the station with it. I don't know what station it is, because it's not... I've never had control of it, so I don't get to see what it is, but I know that there is at least a station there, and blowing it up is a bit of a... It's a bit of a loss. Especially if it was something important. Wow. Oh! We have the first player-on-player action here. Green has taken a tile from orange. Maybe this clown's got teeth. Okay, 30 frigates in the bank. I'm going to deploy a second harvester here. And we're just going to take that. We're going to finish what we started. Yeah, they've only got 534 power left. That means it's going to be pretty easy. Yeah, let's put you here so that you guys can... They can't use it on themselves. You can't harden yourself. You can only harden others. Just like real life. Yeah, deploy your corvettes. We're going to get right over there. So we want to take out the carrier first, but the carrier doesn't have main guns. So sneaking up behind it is kind of pointless. Oh wait, you know what? I should be killing the corvettes first, right? Because otherwise they're going to do a lot of repairing. And unlike other ships, corvettes don't leave behind any wreckages. I didn't mention it, but you might have noticed that ship wreckages actually get in the way and block movement. And they block lines of, they block your shots too, not just movement. And they're obstacles. Whereas corvettes, because they're spawned in continuously by the carrier, well, they don't block anything, because otherwise the battlefield would get a little crowded. So we're going to move you away. Fire the missiles. And then we're going to use auxiliary fuel to get you back in position. Speaking of, you need to move forward. And you need to move forward. Just to make sure it can't turn around. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Not that it matters. Get that repair. Let's finish this job as quickly as we can and go home before Christmas. Actually, the funny thing is, with carriers, it's probably a good idea to block off the front tiles, because then it's harder for them to deploy their... they can only deploy on the front 3 tiles. Now, of course, with these 2 spots open, they can just turn around and deploy here. But if you have 6 frigates, you can actually just completely surround it, and it can't deploy its frigates at all. Or its corvettes at all. Which is pretty funny. And that's that. What do we get? What kind of station we got? It is battleships. Perfect. Actually don't have enough. Ooh. Yeah, that's the problem, is for most of the game I've been struggling to actually collect any tachnium. So now I'm a little short on resources. Kind of unfortunate. How many more turns? Until you're finished. It's here. Looks like it's 2 more turns until I have a dreadnought. Do I have enough upgrades? No, that's 700. And that's 980. Yeah, I'm not going to spend any of this. But I am going to move the points out of shields and into weapons. Okay. Yeah, and I'm not going to build any frigates because I've got a massive stockpile, and I actually need the tachnium now. So that's the end of that turn. Well, actually, I might want to salvage these, because these guys aren't going anywhere. This is a case where being able to have a separate move option that lets you patrol around internally would be nice, because then I could actually use these for something. But the fact that they're there means that I would have to spend an entire turn moving them up to the front line. But at that point, I might as well just deploy 2 fresh frigates. So we're going to salvage these. We get half the resources back. That's a little bit closer to building a battleship. And now we're going to end turn. See, I don't even know what the point of that move was. It serves 0 purpose. Yeah, green is just taken. They're going aggro. Yeah, here comes more fleets. As if they didn't have enough already. You see, look at what they're doing to red. Sometimes this happens to you. This. But, once again, it's manageable. I have to insist it's manageable because it hasn't happened, even though I have dealt with it before. And I kind of, it's not like it's rare. It pretty commonly happens that the AI does that to you. But this AI just chose not to for some reason. I feel kind of cheated. Like I was supposed to show off how good I am at the game by beating these fleets even as they eat through my territory. And it's just not happening. So, it is what it is. Alright, gonna do a little propagandizing. Okay, there's 2 stations here that are available. It might be worth moving this fleet forward and then taking whatever's here and then grabbing these 2 stations. Could be more of these enriched tachnium these enrichment stations, which will be very valuable. I mean, the other players have already launched tachnium warheads, and I'm not even quite halfway there. This is why I showed what that looks like at the beginning, because it's really cool, but it takes a while. So I kind of don't want to take this because I'm inviting this fleet to come forward. I do have a subspace disruptor to lock them down, and yeah, sure, they've got a dreadnought, but they don't have that many supporting ships, so I could probably take out... Oh, you know what? Never mind. They've got 2 dreadnoughts and a battleship, so I could definitely take out the cruiser and the frigate, and then I would probably just die after that. And then maybe with 4 I could take out a battleship, and then another 4 could take out a dreadnought. It would take like several turns to wipe this out. At least with my current fleet capabilities. Maybe I should have salvaged these guys so I could actually move a fleet through here. Because right now they're blocking the way. Yeah, I guess I'm going to move these guys forward, and then forward, and then I'm going to clean this up on the left side. It looks like I'm on my next move. I believe it's, yeah, 700 engineering to get that upgrade. Or I could save up for 1,000 to get this upgrade, because I am getting a dreadnought first. So it's probably worthwhile. Yeah, unfortunately, that's all I've got for now. Oh, they're taking back their territory. That's never going to work. You're never going to take those yellow tiles with propaganda. I think it's theoretically possible, but it's just unrealistic. You got to set your expectations correctly. Otherwise, you're going to be very disappointed. Womp. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to continue moving over here. What do we have? Oh, it's a nothing. Cool. So I've cleared out all the garrisons on the left side by the looks of it. And now there's just the free stations in the middle. Let's see, 500 versus... Well, if I've got 2 harvesters already here, that's effectively 1,000. So even if I deploy more harvesters, it's like 1 harvester here is still going to last longer than putting a harvester here. So I'm going to put it here. And yeah, that's it for that turn. Next turn I can salvage these guys. Although I am going to move and take these first because they're free. We're getting very close to the point where I can start stomping over the enemy. We're very close. I just really need a few more enrichment stations and a little more technium. And then I can start deploying my battleships and dreadnoughts and demonstrating some real tactical advantages. And there's the dreadnought. And I have just barely enough to build the next one. Nifty. So we're going to move you here. Going to consider propaganda. Yeah, we'll propagandize here. Which then reveals... This is... So red still hasn't cleared out their garrisons on the right side. Right from their perspective. And that's what that is. I can still take it, though, if I want to, but I think I'm just going to take these 3 for free. I'll propagandize here. Deploy a harvester there. Yeah, we're looking good. Yeah, I'm going to save these points for the dreadnought, since I'm building the second one. I'm going to salvage these 2. Turn 30. Oh no, don't you move this way. That you're going to regret that. You are so dead. Yeah, the AI is going to think it has a chance fighting me because, oh look, 3 frigates and a destroyer versus 4 destroyers. This is a pretty reasonably even battle. They don't stand a chance. It's not even close. Seriously, what is with the AI's movement? They are shockingly passive. At least towards me. Alright, well, we've got enough development. Let's get the big one. Boom. I'm going to hold the dreadnoughts in reserve. I'm not going to deploy them just yet, because as long as they're in reserve, I can deploy them wherever I need them. But once I do deploy them, they're stuck there. Alright, let's grab this. What is it? Development station, very nice. And it's also got 570 tactium. Just what I needed. Just what the doctor ordered. And you can see how these 2 fleets are going to get left behind. Like, unless something comes in from downtown and just drives its way down this way, this fleet's not going to do much. I might move it up here at one point, like in the future, just to hold this choke point. Maybe. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. In fact, I'm probably going to leave it here, because if something threatens this choke point, I can move there in response, instead of doing it preemptively. Like, there's no reason to do it preemptively. Whereas this one, this is just useless now. It's just basically useless. Do I actually have enough? No, I don't. Still got a subspace disruptor, but that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just going to end that. It's 31. Look, they're reinforcing their fleets. That's cute. See, this one's actually going to do something. The other fleet, though, I don't know why they bothered. Ooh, looks like Orange is moving in to strike back. Seriously, look, they've continually trapped that fleet, which does prevent them from taking more of your territory, but they're holding on to that. Like, the tactium deposit you make when you launch a space nuke is really big, and the fact that you let them have it is a huge waste. Ah. Yeah, still not very threatening. Oakley dokley. Ooh, look at that. More tachnium. Just what I need. I'll be taking this. Not that it gives you much, because it doesn't really have anything. So you do get a little bit of a... You get a few points for capturing the territory, but that's not... I mean, it's mostly just so that I can have territorial integrity. And what's the purpose of territorial integrity? It's simple. It looks prettier. That's it. And then I'm going to take this, which they might try to fight back, because this is 512 versus 514, which I'm going to win. Let's make our dreadnoughts even bigger. Yeah, defense turrets, so it's got point defense, it's got missiles, plasma blasters, thermal cannons, a jump drive, and it also has a ton of stats. Looking pretty good. Okay. And then I'll probably move this fleet down and then take these two garrisons. Watch them be enrichment stations. Just watch. They're going to be the enrichment stations I've been missing. I know it. I just know it. Doobly-doo, doobly-dee. Orang. Why did they launch the propaganda after moving? Launching it before moving would have been giving you better odds. Oh, there goes your tachnium. Sucks to suck. Oh, look at that. Look at that. They're doing the thing. They're doing the thing. Well, I'm not gonna move my fleet forward and tempt fate. I'm just gonna wait here. If they take this station, then I'll launch a subspace disruptor and lock them down there. Let's get a harvester here. Let's move here. I'll be taking that. Yeah, that's it. Alright. So nothing else I want to... Well, I do want to salvage this, actually. And I want to start building a battleship. Okay, so I'm expecting them to attack me here. Which I'm going to win. And then the next turn I'll move down and then move to the right. Let's end turn. Oh, they're not going to attack me. They're going to go for the neutral point. Interesting. Here it comes. The deaths of trillions. Blood for the blood god. Or I guess in this case, orange juice for the orange god. If they were red, then you could say blood for the blood god, but they're not red. What would green be? Limes for the harvest god? Maybe. Hey, 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 easy. They're still 2 jumps away from it, like actually threatening me, so that's good. Yeah, I'm not going to bother launching an attack on red over here. There's not really... I'm not going to really gain anything from that. And I don't need the first strike advantage to actually win against them. So I'm going to ignore them. I'm going to move here. And if anything, do a little propaganda. But you can launch at one that has a fleet? That's never going to work. Yeah, unfortunately, the chance of the success depends on your standings here, which, well, I have the most domain influence, but that's kind of it. Everything else is not favorable. At least as far as that is concerned. Look at that. We're turned 34, and we're still only 9% of the way there. Now, if we were on the easiest difficulty, we'd only need 2,000 data, so would be just like 45% of the way there right now. But instead, we're 9%, because the hardest difficulty just loves to drag things out. Yeah, no, there's no other actions I can take. So we're going to end the turn. We just gotta keep things smooth sailing before we unleash our ultimate weapon. Big ship with a big gun. Oh, there's a disruptor. The disruptor, like the launch sound, is the same as the warhead sound. For sort of like for a second, you think, "Oh God, is that a space nuke?" But no, it's not. The icon is a little bit different, but before you actually register what the icon is, you're first going to hear the sound. So there's like a moment where it's like, "Oh, is that a nuke?" And then it turns out, no, it isn't. All right, we're going to start harvesting that. And we're going to take this garrison. It's about time. I mean, it says risk extreme, but we obviously know that that is not true. Ooh, what are you going to do? Cruise at me with your cruisers? I'm so scared. Wow. And turn. Yep, they can't quite reach me. As was foretold in the prophecy. Which is, you might say, was biased because I wrote the prophecy. And to that I would say, you're imagining things. It's all in your head. Of course it's not biased. How could a prophecy be biased? That's not how prophecies work. I would know. I'm a prophet. Alright, now we're going to launch missiles. Because they're weaker than the main guns, but if we can use them to finish off that little guy, then that would be really helpful. So we can save our kinetic guns for the actual durable target. Alright, let's get behind them. You know the drill, boys. Light them up. And then the second Tier 2 garrison is going to be a similar story. And hopefully, if I can get some more of these enrichment stations, I can actually deploy 6 frigates at once. And that's when, I mean, this isn't even the Wolf... As powerful as 4 frigates have been, this isn't even their true potential. Once you get up to 6, their kinetic guns have 98% shield piercing. And that's when they start doing some real damage. Especially with 6 of them. They just have a multiplicative effect on their effectiveness. All right, let's clean them up as fast as possible. Let's just, yep. All right, launch the missiles. This should take care of that. And then the kinetics will finish that off. Lovely. He's raw. Look at that ship. It's raw. It doesn't have any hull mods. Hey, look at that. What did I say? Enrichment station? Enrichment station. I knew. I have foresight. So, That is pretty helpful, because 5 taking on this is going to be significantly more effective. We're going to have to tempt fate at some point. As much as I don't like being next to one of these fleets, you're going to have to do it. Just not yet. Oh, if I can delete these guys, that will give me enough to start building a dreadnought right now. Oh, wait, I can't salvage ships. It's on cooldown. Never mind. Actually, I could deploy 2 dreadnoughts here and 3 frigates and go take this, and that should be doable. That should be doable. I'm kind of torn whether or not I should go for the garrison or the empty station here. It's a bit of a tough choice. I don't know what rank these are, because mine are level 3. And knowing what level these are would make a big difference in my decision making here. You know, I guess if I wait one more turn, I'll have a battleship, so I can deploy 2 dreadnoughts and a battleship and 2 frigates. And that should be very easily able to handle whatever is going on over here. Although, for you, I mean, 10% for the main guns is pretty good, especially since it's so cheap. I do want this, the 10% extra for plasma, and I do want this. But I am getting a battleship, and currently they have no upgrades, which is a bit sad. So I'm going to get the 10%, and then I'm going to get this, so that the battleship can actually be a little bit more effective. It's turn 35. Yeah, red is just reclaiming its territory from when it lost to the Golden Armada. That's a disruptor. Yep. Green is still harassing orange, which is really funny, and I encourage them to continue. Oh, thank you. Just what I wanted. A random shipyard. So I could deploy ships there and start taking stuff, which is actually a little bit valuable because the shipyard has a tachnium deposit, and then there's another deposit right next to it. So that's definitely worth considering, but I'm more... But then I would have to, like... The main issue, really, is then I would have to scroll across the map to see what's going on over here before scrolling across the map to see what's going on back at home. And that would just be annoying. So I'm not going to do that. Even though it certainly is an option, it's an option I don't want to take. So let's just pretend that that doesn't happen. Oh, you know what? I don't need to move upwards. I can use propaganda. Another enrichment station. Would you look at that? Beautiful. So I can move this fleet downwards, take this, and then I could deploy another fleet here. And it would take... I'd have to waste a turn moving here, but then I could take these two. And both of these have tachnium deposits that I need. So it looks like I just made a mistake by going left instead of right at the beginning, because the right side is where the enrichment stations were. Yeah, I'm kind of at the edges of my territory. So yeah, I'm going to go here now. I'm going to go one more for the battleship. I'm going to wait one more turn. Although, I could just deploy 2 dreadnoughts and 4 frigates. No, I'll take this garrison this turn, and then next turn I'll deploy and do that. What do they have? Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be a slaughter. Oh, can I upgrade this? What can I? Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm just about to finish building one of these, so might as well upgrade them. Yep, that looks good. Let's get going. And that, yeah, we're just going through the motions, really. Don't want to go too fast so that I don't misclick and ruin everything, but it's not too complicated. It's stuff like this that would make it nice if, like, there was some kind of feature in the game where if you demonstrate that you're capable of winning, like, with X ships versus X ships, you've won, like 3 battles without losing anything, if you could then auto-resolve those battles in your favor. If you, like, of course, you would have to prove it first by doing it. But then, of course, there would be the question of how do you even implement such a feature? Which I'm sure it's possible, it'd just be annoying. And it's kind of a niche use case, right? Like, I get to... You're letting the players skip battles by proving that they know how to do it. It's like the effort to implement such a feature versus how much it actually matters is probably not a worthwhile equation. As much as I think it would help me, specifically, right now, skip through these battles that I already know are foregone conclusions. One of these days I actually want to try making the cruisers work. They are really cool. Like, they got a jump drive, they've got torpedoes, they've got... like, and they look cool, they've got all this armor. So, I would like to make them good, and, like, try to maximize the value I get out of the upgrades. But even if I do, it's probably just not going to be as good as the Corvette, or the frigates. So, it always begs the question of why bother. I mean, I guess the reason to bother is because they look cool. Which is as good a reason as any. But they definitely can't work by themselves. So the frigates, you can spam them by themselves. The fact that these things... like, the plasma torpedoes are decent against shields, but other than that, they've got thermal weapons, which are going to be bad against shields. So they need some kind of support to deal with shields. Which, the lack of self-sufficiency in that way definitely hurts. Alright, let's get those missiles going. Oh, you can turn those shields back on. I mean, honestly, I'm not even going to bother firing that last volley of missiles, because we're going to kill you with kinetics next turn anyways. So I'm going to skip the animation and just kill you faster. Just like that. And what do we get? Well, we get more tactium. That's pretty useful. And I could deploy a couple more frigates here. I could take this station, but then we're inviting trouble from these guys. And I'm already going to be inviting trouble from these guys, so probably don't want to tempt fate right now. See, wow, 1700. That's exactly what I needed. All right, end turn. Oh, are they going for it? That is an odd choice. They deployed a massive fleet next to the enemy fleet and then moved away. I mean, sure, you certainly can do that. And they're moving away. What is happening right now? Okay, this one's moving closer. Now we have a threat. Okay, I can finally use this. Look. Now they're stuck and they can't move. Isn't that, like, really smart that I did that? That's so cool. I'm really good at this game. Let's see. I'm going to deploy a harvester here, because this is going to be the highest. Yeah, and then here, I'm going to start taking this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be easy. Let's see. What's the risk level? Oh yeah, 1525 versus 1390. Easy. It's not even close. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is going to use the armor hardener on the bigger ships. Let's see, can you reach? You can reach. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, we're going to have you sit there. You can move forward 1. Now, the one thing that's a bit annoying is you do actually have to activate the defense turrets every time they come off cooldown. So that's a little bit annoying. Feels a bit slightly unnecessary. Yeah, we're going to move you forward 2 tiles. And then we're going to move everybody up right behind you. Alright. Let's try and get through this without any losses. Yeah, oh, now their frigates actually have armor hardener. They finally unlocked that. So that's going to be... And they use the shield hardener too on the enemy battleship. So that guy's a big, tough guy. Mostly going to want to present the dreadnoughts as a target for it because they can injure whatever it's going to throw at them. Fortunately, the dreadnought main cannons thermal are not going to do too much here. And then they have 1 tile of movement, so I don't think... Yeah, that's not going to reach. This is fine. I'm going to try and squeeze past you with my battleship to get to your juicier targets. Yeah, I'm going to keep shooting there. And the frigates... going to get behind you. Yeah, so I think I want to sit here. No. How exactly do I want to line them up? Let's move them all closer first. Okay. So I think I want to sit in these, like these 3 spots here, and fire at... Well, I can't take this out in 1 turn, so I guess I'm going to fire at the destroyer. Then we move there. We move you here. Yeah. We can take the destroyer out in 1 turn. Perfect. You're not in range to shoot, and that's it. And there's the kinetic cannons. That's fine. Not scary at all. Honestly, even though armor hardener is going to be more effective on stronger ships, I probably should just use it on my frigates to minimize, because I'm just not going to lose these in the first place. Whereas I might actually lose the frigates, so I'm probably better off using the armor hardener on them to avoid losses, instead of trying to maximize the value. You know, maybe. Alright, let's use some missiles and hopefully take out a corvette. It's going to be very RNG dependent. RNG does not want us to take out a corvette. That's fine. Let's take out a frigate. We're going to sit behind the battlecruiser. Going to repair. So we're going to finish off this guy. And then we're going to sit behind the battlecruiser. Perfect. You guys, well, plasma blasters are available, and we can hit the battlecruiser. I probably just want to use these on the enemy battleship anyways. Brute force our way through it. Alright, 1750 damage. You ready for this? Here it comes. Do it again. Yeah, one of those actually pierced through because of the 21% chance from these guys. That did quite a bit of damage. Alright, let's use the plasma cannons to hopefully finish off the shields. Or get them low enough that these thermal cannons can actually start doing something. Yeah, there we go. So this had both shield hardening and armor hardening, and it just barely managed to survive all of that. I think I want to leave you in that position, and you are going to maneuver behind. Yeah, I think that's it. End turn. Yeah, the corvette's going to do a little repairing. Annoying, but not a big deal. Now that the battleship's shields are down, these thermal cannons are going to do a lot more damage. It's also lost all of its hardening. Yeah, there's the point defense shooting down those thermal missiles. It's going to use EMP. Oh, wait. Ooh. That cruiser might be able to take out... It's definitely going to take that out, isn't it? It's definitely going to take that frigate out. It's that's unfortunate. Unless the AI decides to be really stupid and shoot at the battleship instead, but that would be foolish. Oh, no, wait. It doesn't need to. That's going to do the job. Okay. Unfortunate. So at this point, I want to use my frigates to take out the enemy corvette. Like so. Then I'm going to sneak up behind the enemy battleship. And then we're going to use all these main... Yeah, there we go. Not quite finishing it off. So I'm going to move down and get these plasma cannons. How much is that going to do? 501? Oh, it's going to survive with a sliver of HP. That's unfortunate. It's so close. Maybe I should have saved some of the frigate attacks to shoot at the battleship instead. Taking out a battleship is obviously a little more valuable than a corvette. Yeah, you can do that if you want. The battleship does not care. It's going to be fine. Oh yeah, and look at that. Their battleship is Mark 6. They've got Mark 3, Mark 5, Mark 6, Mark 5. The highest rank I've got is Mark 5 frigates. My battleships are Mark 2, and these are Mark 3. And we're doing pretty well, all things considered. So, this should finish the job here. Yeah. Let's launch that. Let's just rearm all of these defense turrets. Okay. EMP barrage. Can I actually reposition to fire that? I don't think I can. Alright. I'm going to use plasma cannons on this then. And then I'm going to move out of the way. And then we're going to fire some EMP barrages over here. Oh no, that's a thermal barrage, not an EMP. Whatever. It's no big deal. Oh, you know what? These have the jump drives active, so I can actually use that. Yeah, let's do that. Beautiful. Thermal barrage this. Plasma blaster you. Wow. Okay. We'll finish that off. Oh, I can hit that. Nice. I did not think I could. Thermal cannons on this. Get you over here. And then we're going to go up and to the right. We can hit the thermal cannons on this and the plasma on that. I don't think this is going to finish it off. It's going to be close. I'll use that there. Get you out of the way. Let's see, 259. This has... What's the pierce chance? 69%. Nice. I'm not going to take those odds, though. I think I'm better off doing this. And that should be all of the weapons that I have. So the enemy carrier does live for one more turn. Let's get a little repair. Yeah, and it's I think it's got one more turn before it can launch more corvettes. Which it's not going to get one more turn. Oh, I don't think I've seen that before. I actually got it to leave the arrows on. Exciting. I love arrows. Yeah, don't have enough resources to start more production there. Yeah, I've got a fleet here, and I mean, if I salvage one frigate, that'll give me enough to start another battleship, which is probably worth doing. Well, if I don't do that, then I'll have enough next turn to start another dreadnought, which dreadnoughts are pretty good, especially if I get this so that the jump drive is on the same cooldown as the blasters. And then I can get this to get more damage on the blasters. I like that. I like that idea a lot. So let's do that. See, engineering. I could get them up to level 3, but I'm investing a lot more in the dreadnoughts. So I think I'm going to save up for that. Sorry, battleships, but you're second fiddle to the big guy. This is a tier 3 garrison, and the biggest ship is a battlecruiser. That feels like a joke. Well, joke's on them, because that means it's going to go well for me. Yeah, I'll probably take this with propaganda, even though it does kind of invite them to come closer. Because I don't really see any other valuable points that I could realistically take. I might as well. It's turn 37. Once I can get up a fleet that's got about like really the sort of death ball fleet that I want to build is 2 dreadnoughts, 2 battleships, and 4 frigates. And that should be able to take on pretty much any fleet that they're going to throw at me. Even if it's got like triple dreadnought, my fleet will be superior thanks to the strategic coordination of my human brain. That's a lot of carriers. I've never really found the carriers to be too good. Maybe I'm just not using them right. I haven't experimented with them too much. Although I do have to say, different factions definitely play very differently in this game. So, even though they are kind of like $3 DLCs, if you like the base game, then buying additional factions can be worth it. The Syndicate especially is a lot of fun, because they're instead of going with the frigates, their frigates are actually really bad, and it's instead the destroyers you want to spam. And they have a very different playstyle. I had a lot of fun. They actually want to spam specifically destroyers and battlecruisers are the main ones you want to spam. And it is a lot of fun. I might make another video where I do the same thing, but as the Syndicate. The other factions I haven't quite figured out how to beat Grandmaster with. I haven't figured out how to cheese out those easy victories with low resources against massive fleets. But there's probably a way. Alright, let's do propaganda. How is it going? Alright, we do get the station. Good, 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 good. Excellent. And I can redeploy a frigate. Can I build more? I can build another dreadnought. Here we go. Now we're going to take this. Auto-resolve risk was low. Honestly, maybe I should have done that. But on the other hand, I like shooting big guns. So let's shoot some big guns. It's been mostly just frigates hitting things with little guns up to this point. So now that I finally get big guns, I would at least like to see them. The fancy plasma cannons are very nice. Yeah. Get your defenses up. See if I care. Look at that. It did nothing. That was EMP against the shields of a dreadnought, which has much more armor and armor hardening, and it did nothing. Pathetic. Let's move you forward 1. Plasma cannon. I am actually gonna... I think I'm actually gonna leave my frigates back so that they don't get targeted. If I lose one right now, that would really suck. Well, I mean, it wouldn't really suck, because I do have a million of them in storage. But it would feel bad. Actually, that would be an interesting run for this game, beating Grandmaster on without losing any ships. Probably, that would be very RNG dependent. And might not even be possible, because there were points in the game where I needed to throw a fleet at them to soften them up. So, is it possible? I think it's possible, but it would definitely be very RNG dependent and very frustrating, so I would probably not do that. Maybe on a lower difficulty. Yeah, I think I just want a Plasma Cannon you. Or Plasma Blaster. Bye-bye. Yeah, we'll just fire at that guy. Just shoot him. Then we'll fire missiles at the enemy frigate, and fire kinetics at the enemy destroyer. Well, I'll hold on to that just in case. Just in case RNG decides to be difficult right here. It did not. Alright. Yeah, do whatever you want. I don't think it's going to matter. It's not even focusing fire on a single target. From the same ship. How silly is that? Man, missiles are weird because they have a longer cooldown than main guns, and at the same time do less damage. So they have a longer cooldown, they do less damage, and then also get shot down by point defense. Like, yeah, you do get to fire them any direction, but that's a lot of downsides. See if any of these shots actually... So I think some of them are going to get blocked by this battlecruiser husk. Oh, no, actually all of them got through. Nice. Let's finish this off. And then we can get our frigates up in here, destroy their frigate. And block their cruiser from actually turning around. And that's that. Look how pretty that is. It's so pretty. Hopefully it's clear why getting that last upgrade, both increasing the damage by 30% and reducing the cooldown. Hopefully it's clear that in a battle that's actually more evenly matched, you can see why that would be valuable. They just have so much burst damage that you can focus fire a target and immediately remove it before it actually gets to do anything. And then having only 2 turns of cooldown means you get to do that again 1 turn earlier. Well, I guess 2 turns earlier, because they start on cooldown. So you get to do that. The second round comes 2 turns earlier, and that's a pretty big deal. Alright, is there any... thermal cannons, 20% is pretty significant. That might be worth doing. Alright, I'll get you to tier 3. Are you happy? Here you go. Let's see. Armor healing by 100%. It's currently 330. So this would go up to 660. I mean, it's not really what I'm using them for. Although, it's going to be more relevant the more that I put upgrades into these things. And the more of them that I build. So I am going to get it at some point, but not quite. Let's see. 548. 658. Decent. And we've got 2,000. That's a massive deposit. And now I can get up to 7 ships in a fleet. Starting to look good. Let's see, this is... how many turns away? Oh, does it... I know there's a way to check how many turns away it is. There's got to be. Oh, there it is. Construction progress, 40%. The bar here is how much tachnium you have. Progress is at 40%, and that's at 0%. There we go. Okay, everything's making sense now. And I've almost got a tachnium warhead. So as long as these guys... Let's see. What am I at? Enriched... Yeah, 2 turns from now, I'll be able to blow these guys back to smithereens with a tachnium warhead, and then harvest their remains for more resources. Yummy. Alright, that's the end of turn 38. You're not going to launch anything? Are you sure? There we go. There's the thing. Otherwise, that move made no sense. Which, a lot of the moves they make don't make sense, but that would, like, super not make sense. Yeah, you can have that. I'm not going to cry over it. I would cry over a lot of things, but not that station. Wow, they're actually using it to lock down another player. Interesting. Green really has it out for orange. I wonder what they did. Maybe they're arguing over whether oranges or limes are the best citrus. Yeah, that's probably the lore. We're going to go like Hunger Games. Like I bet the outer sectors probably follow Hunger Games logic in terms of how their resources are distributed. Like in the Hunger Games, you've got the coal district in like sector whatever, and then you've got the agriculture district, and then you've got the other ones. And in this universe, it's probably the same, where it's like the core worlds are like fully developed and sophisticated, and in the outer worlds, it's like this is the lime district. They grow limes. This is the orange district. They grow oranges. And now they're arguing over who has the best citrus. And that's why they really just have it out for each other. I mean, really, it's the only logical explanation for what's going on over there. I've got all these deposits that I can finally start deploying harvesters on, but I don't have enough harvesters. Because I went many turns without being able to deploy any, because I didn't have much going on. But I guess all of that is behind us now. Let's get more tachnium. Don't like that this is now active. Of course, mine, out of 2 to 4 turns, it lasted the lowest amount of time. If it lasted 3, then it would last long enough to delay until I could get this going. But of course it didn't. Why would it? That would be too fortunate. Which I guess I can't complain about RNG too much, given that the AI has mostly left me alone. This is 512. It's still 512 versus 532, and they're still not taking it. Is there anything? No, I can't really make anything. So I do want to move a fleet somewhere. Maybe I should take the fight to them. No, what I want to do is deploy a fleet here. And then move to take these garrisons. And maybe this fleet as well. But if I'm going to take on this fleet, then I really want to have just, like... Then I'm going to really want dreadnoughts. Because they have dreadnoughts. But I don't have dreadnoughts yet. They're still under construction. So deploying a fleet here and moving it wouldn't make much sense. I've got to wait for the dreadnoughts to finish. So what do I move? Because I don't want to waste my turn by not doing anything. So I guess the only real option is to move you. I guess I'll attack this other player. And start taking theirs. And now that I'm actually fighting the other player, I'm thinking maybe I should have given them... Because I've been fighting a mirror match this whole time. I could have given them a different faction. But to be fair, this is kind of the vanilla experience. And fighting a mirror faction is still... The mechanics are good enough that it's still fun. Besides, it's not like you fight the other factions too much. This is a rare experience. You're lucky to be witnessing this with your own eyes. Yeah, there's no station in the background because there's no station on this tile. That's a nice touch. Although there still is the ominous giant hole in the sky. I'm sure that's not foreshadowing for anything. No, sir. It has no particular meaning. Yeah. Get your buffs. So they do have armor hardener on the destroyer, but that's not really going to change my plan at all. I'm still going to take it out first. And boom, there we go. I mean, frigates can have omniguns, so you can't exactly block them off the way that you can with larger ships. So positioning becomes a lot less relevant. Yeah, they're going to split their damage across my ships, and I've got armor hardener, so we're good. We are fine. We're very fine. Yep, and that's gone. Soften them up with missiles. Use a little repair here to stay alive. Oh, wow, we actually managed to take him out. Nice. And then they've got one left. And it's not like they're behind on upgrades. This thing is Mark V. So they can't even say that it's because... And this is with me funneling a ton of upgrades into a small number of ships. For the AI, they're going to split their upgrades across basically all of the ships. So you can kind of see why funneling into a small number of ships is necessary. It's necessary for you to keep up on higher difficulties. Okay, I think my bookshelf just started shaking for no reason. That was weird. Oh, there's a tactium deposit here. I stole it from them. It doesn't have much left. But it's still more than 0, so that's cool. That's a lot of destroyers, which will be easy prey for a squad of frigates. I'll probably take that next turn. Yeah, we'll call it there, 39. Yeah. Do your turn. I'm running out of things to say about you guys. Oh, lovely. Just what I needed. Just what I frickin' needed. Okay, so I've got 2 fleets to worry about. Now, this one... This is a pretty big tactium deposit, so defending this is kind of important. Whereas over here, yeah, they could take this one, but it's almost depleted anyways. And this shipyard, it's not a big deal. Even if they take this spot, I can deploy a ship here and then launch a disruptor. So now that this guy has moved forward, I think I want to take this one out. Yeah, it's going to destroy the development station too, but... I mean, the development and engineering stations are generally less valuable than the others. So I'm not going to be too torn up about that. Yeah, I think that's what we're going with. Propaganda, on the other hand, what am I going to do with that? There's not any easy spots to take. So I guess I'll do this. It's the best option I got. Good, it worked. Yeah, I really don't want it coming in this way, because if it takes this spot, not only does it take this tactium deposit, but then they could take these two, which would then restrict my fleet size. And the nearest shipyard is 2 tiles away, so it would take me a couple of turns to respond. And that would be assuming I actually had any ships to respond with. So no, this is a lot more dangerous to my capabilities than the other one. 800 million. Not for long. Sorry, I was checking because I had the... Like, I noticed that this number was lower. It's below 1 trillion. And so I had the thought that maybe the number gets higher the closer you get towards the center, which would make sense. The density of stars does get higher. But it doesn't seem like that. It seems like it's kind of random. Yeah, so you look at the size of that deposit. 33,500. Larger than any natural deposit I found. It's huge. It's massive. And the nearest fleet is a couple tiles away, so yeah, I'm going to start deploying harvesters there. That is a lot of juicy tactium, and I need it. Wait, let's see. I could upgrade it to Mark 4, but I'd rather save and upgrade this to Mark 4. Nothing here. Yeah, no, I've only got 230 development points, so that's not going anywhere. Oh, look. We've rapidly jumped from 9% to 16%. Wow. Yeah, I'm probably not going to play all the way to the end. I'm just going to play until I've got a decent amount of dreadnoughts and battleships, and I start crushing the enemy. Oh, I can still move a fleet. I almost ended the turn without doing that. Right. And if I'm going to move a fleet, I'm going to be taking this. Oh, right. Those are cruisers, not destroyers. This is going to be a little sketchy. I mistakenly thought they were destroyers. It should still be doable with all the upgrades I've got. Although I might expect some losses here. Got to play our cards very carefully. Very carefully. So the frigate is running away, which is interesting. Yeah, they're piling all of their defenses onto the front guy. So I'm just going to ignore him. So move you forward, move you forward. Yeah, I think what I want to do is try and pile up behind you and kill this destroyer. Let's position like that. And then, well, if I can take it out with just 2 kinetic guns, then I can also get the enemy frigate. Okay, I can't. Not quite. Tragic. Although, I guess I'm still going to go for it. Yeah, I'll get him next turn. We'll leave it like that. Yeah, you're not going to do anything. Even though you could have turned around, you just chose not to. Sometimes the AI makes it easy for you. Yep. Alright. Okay, we get him there, which means I can use the missiles on this guy. We're going to fire everything into you. Let's back up a bit. Let's get some missiles. Missiles. Kinetics. Let's get into formation. Like so. Four frigates should be able to take out 3 cruisers. Especially with the damage we've already done to the one. And then from there, the next 2 red stations are very vulnerable. So I can take those as well. I mean, they could be shipyards and they could deploy some ships to act as a roadblock. But even if they do, I'm not sure there's much they could deploy that would actually stop me. Far too powerful. Okay, and we're going to sneak up behind this guy to open up space so that you can shoot. We're going to put you here. Put you there. And we're going to put you there. Alright, end turn. Alright. Torpedoes first. He teleported too far away, so he can't use his main guns. Which means that we should be able to live this, even if he fires his missiles. Which he didn't. Shields back on. Let's get those missiles going. Sneak up behind you, get the kinetics. Easy peasy. Yeah, I'll just put you here. And I guess I'll use the armor repair on you, just in case. Well, he's not targeting him anyways, but it was a good call, because he could have targeted this guy. He just chose not to. Yeah, stacking all your defenses on a single ship isn't going to be a very good strategy if I just ignore that ship. Oh, now they're Mark V. They've got the second volley of torpedoes. That does make them significantly more dangerous. And then it chooses to fire its missiles at a different target instead of finishing off the one in front of it. Thank you. That makes my life a lot easier. So you guys can repair each other. And then you can sneak up behind him. And now we've got to get through a lot of armor. But 3v1 is going to be an easy... That's a simple numbers game. In fact, I can reapply the armor hardening to this first guy, because he lost all of his. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, he still got 5%, so I can't. Never mind. Silly me. But I can't apply it to this guy, because he did actually lose all of it. Let's move one tile away so you can fire the thermals. Move you back forward. And then move you back there. Yeah, you can fire your missile backwards. It's a pretty fireworks show, but not very intimidating. Clickety-clack. How much of yours do you have? 2%. Alright, now we can finally finish him off. There we go. Hasta la vista, baby. So battle cruisers, and it's got a pretty solid deposit of tachnium. Plus, while I'm not going to build battle cruisers, the fact that it is a shipyard means I can deploy some reinforcements, and 7 frigates are going to do a lot of work if I need them to. I could probably take this out, honestly, so I might move down and then over here, and then redeploy another one and take these. We'll see. Got more upgrade points. What do I got? Yep, and now the Dreadnought can also deploy corvettes, so it's like a half carrier, on top of just being an absolute beast. I would like to save up 820 to get to this. The rest of those, not too important, right? The first 3 upgrades are good, the last upgrade is the best, and then these 4 in the middle, not as important. And that's turn 40. I think I said I would stop, at the beginning I said I would stop around turn 40, but it's taking... Looks like I underestimated how long it would take. Maybe turn 60, when I've actually got some dreadnoughts under my belt. But I mean, this has probably been several hours already, and what am I at, like 20%? 20% of the final theory? Now, to be fair, the amount of final theory you're going to get scales depending on the size of the fleets you're killing. So early game, when I'm killing smaller fleets, I'm going to make less progress, versus now, when the enemy fleets... Well, there's, like, not only are the enemy fleets massive, there's just a lot of them. So I'm going to be killing... If I'm killing one of these every turn, I'm going to make a lot more progress. First and foremost, lock you down. I'm going to deploy a harvester here. Still have so many tiles. Like, I've gone from not having enough tachnium to having so many tiles that I can't actually get all of them. 1,000. Alright, well, I'm going to build a battleship. Okay. What else do I want? Yeah, I'm mostly going to ignore... Like, I want to leave these guys here. In fact, I might... No, I'll hold on to those in reserve. I can deploy them whenever I need them. So they can kind of... Like, if this point gets threatened, I can move them there to defend it. Or I can, you know, launch subspace disruptor from them. Getting to these is going to be annoying, but I guess for now I'm just going to ignore them. I'm going to ignore this so that I don't provoke them. You are going to continually get locked down. I might have to deploy some stuff to deal with you if they start moving in. But this is already... This is on its last turn, so this is going to be harvested, and that's not an issue. And if they take a few shipyards here, that's also not an issue. It would be an issue if they try to take this station, and in which case, if they move this way, then I'd have to do something about it. But as long as they're not taking it, I don't have to do anything about it. I can pretend that it's not there. I can close my eyes. I do not see it. So I'm going to take this. It says extreme, even though 4 frigates were able to take on the same number of guys. If 4 frigates could take on the exact same number of guys, then 7 can definitely do it. And just to be sure we don't lose anybody, we got to make sure they're hard. Frigates are the hardest of boys. It's just the way it is. Let's move you guys forward, like so. I believe that the cap on fleet size is 9 ships. Like, you can have more enrichment stations, but it caps out at 9. I felt like mentioning that, because now that I'm up to 7 frigates, it's definitely going to slow down the turns. So they've put defenses on both of these cruisers. Looks like they took a lesson from last time and split up their defensive bonuses. Not that it's going to save them. Although, the frigate and the destroyer being so far away is kind of an issue. But as you can see here, the kinetic guns, what's that percentage? 97%. So they're only losing 3% of their shells into the shields. Yeah, they've used all their guns. Alright. Mark 6. Oh, that's probably why the difficulty is rated really high. They're slightly higher upgrade level than they were last time. But at the end of the day, those upgrade levels aren't going to matter when I've got such a big numbers advantage. Yeah. Click through this as fast as I can. Clickety-clack. Okay, that's 1 down. Scratch 1. Actually, now that I think about it, something that's often missing from these games, which is understandable but would certainly help bring them to life, is something that you get in basically every RTS, which is when you click on your guys, they have a voice line. Frigate here. Target locked. You know, that sort of thing. Predator tank. Rolling out. Armored superiority. Heading to that location. We're moving. I think I'd be good at that sort of thing. That would be a pretty cool job, to be honest. Just being the guy who voices all the units in an RTS. I'm pretty sure, like, it honestly sounds a lot like in Command & Conquer 3. Like, they just had, like, one guy who did, like, 90% of the voices. Because, like, the voices sound similar enough that I think most of them were done by the same guy. But at the same time, they all sound really distinct. Which might sound like a bit of a contradiction. Like, how can you tell that they're done by the same guy if they're so distinct? But that's just kind of like the vibe it is. It's like, he goes from being like, Predator tank here, rolling out, to Mammoth tank, armored superiority. And it's like, wow, like it sounds like it's the same guy, but at the same time, the impression they give off is pretty different. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get in front of him. Not that it matters, he's about to die. Yeah. But something like that, like, it's understandable just not doing that for this kind of game. You'd have to, you know, hire a voice actor and deal with all of that. It's just like extra, it's a lot of extra development time. So it's something that's, like, if you're like an indie team, because this is an indie game, I believe. So it's not like a big, this is not a AAA game, that's for sure. But if you're like a smaller studio, then it's understandable that you're going to focus on the gameplay rather than on the bells and whistles, like the voice acting. But it certainly adds a nice little touch, you know. Frigate here. Wolfpack engage. They won't know what hit them. We're closing in. Take him from the rear. We're getting hard. That's the voice line for when they fire the armor hardener. Harden up. With the hard boys. Harder than life itself. Damn, that's pretty hard. Okay. Yeah, no, that's it. Just got a couple more stations. Not particularly useful. But it's better than nothing. So I've already used that. Can I build anything? Nope. Alright. That's the end of that turn. A ballsy move. Let's see if it pays off for him. Actually, I should check the standings. I haven't checked in a while. Yeah, that's definitely a nuke. Okay, the sound is a bit different. Now that I'm thinking about it. I said it sounds similar. And it's, I guess, similar, but there's definitely a lot more of a whoosh when it's about to kill people. Although I guess a subspace disruptor could also be killing people. Like, if it's disrupting, like, hyperspace travel, and there's a planet that's reliant on imports, then it could indirectly kill people. I wouldn't know. It's not like the game has a lore book to tell me that. I just have to hypothesize. Uh-oh. I don't like that. Is there anywhere I can launch a decent propaganda campaign? Yeah, I think it's just here. Alright, let's do that. Although they did move away on this tile, so that's... No. They haven't moved at all, have they? I'm making that up. Okay, so that's got a little bit of technium. I mean, it's a lower priority compared to a lot of the other deposits, but I'll get there eventually. There's a station here. Yeah, I think I'm going to attack this. It seems to be the best move. And I'm going to deploy more frigates here. In case the subspace disruptor wears off and they decide to attack, I want to be able to do as much damage as possible. And I'm sitting on a massive pile of frigates. So that would be the way to do that. Okay, fine. I'll upgrade you. Now you've got your auxiliary fuel. Are you happy? Of course you're never happy. You're a battleship. You're not designed to be happy. You're designed to kill. Alright, so this is not exactly the biggest fleet. Right? That's 2,800 with those triple dreadnoughts and then a battleship carrier. Yeah, it's got one of everything. Except... No, it does have a battleship. Yeah, I think that's one of everything, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straight up. No, it's got to be missing something. Am I crazy? There's 7 ship types. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, yeah, no. They've got one of everything, including 3 dreadnoughts. So this is about as big as it gets. It's just shy of 3,000. This has a lot of the top-end stuff, but is missing a lot of things in the middle. I should be able to handle that. Now, all of these around the middle are shipyards. So hypothetically, even if I take this, they could immediately deploy next to me and try to take my fleet in return, which would be annoying, but they probably won't do that. It's not likely, even if it is possible. And I'd rather, and if between these two fleets, I really need that first strike advantage. I need to go first. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit sketchy. Okay, this is a case where armor hardener is definitely going to matter. So we are definitely putting them on the big ships. We can also deploy corvettes. Nifty. Although for the most part, we're going to keep the small ships behind the big ships until we have a chance to pounce. And let's not forget to activate the defense turrets, something that honestly should be automatic, but whatever. Yeah, they're going to deploy their own corvettes. What rank are they? Mark 6. And their battleship is Mark 7. That's a little sketchy. But I am pretty confident that they don't have the Plasma Blaster upgrade that I have. That final upgrade that reduces the cooldown, there's no way they have that. There's zero chance. Okay, so if they move forward one tile, they're still only going to have 3 points of range, which means if I sit here, they actually can't reach me. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I want to sit exactly where I am. Because I want to wait for the Plasma Blasters to charge and then make my first strike. So I'm actually just not going to move. I'm going to sit here. Alright, this is going to be... Really don't think... Well, I probably can afford to lose these dreadnoughts, honestly, with the way things are going so far. But I'm going to act like I can't afford to lose them. Because that means it's going to be more exciting. And also, losing them would suck. Even if I can afford to lose them, it would still suck. So the first move I want to do is I want to take out that battleship with these Plasma Blasters. And I think the way that I'm going to do that is very silly. We're going to jump behind the big dreadnought with our own dreadnoughts so that they can't shoot at us. It's the same tactic as before. You thought tactics were going to change because the ships got bigger? Nope. We're still going to sit on the enemy's ass because that's the safest place. We're going to be doing the exact same thing. Nothing has changed. Okay, but I do actually need to finish this off, so let's try and make it quick, yeah? I'd rather... Ooh, can I even do this? I really don't want to have to teleport you over here, but I might. Yeah, there's probably a waste of the kinetic guns, honestly. I should have just done this in the first place. 418, yeah, I can't finish that off. I should have just done the math. Of course I can't. Listen to the math. The math will tell you what to do. Okay, we can missile that. And please finish it off. Thank you. You did good. Now let's see, what can I do? Thermal missiles. Can that finish that off? Not with that attitude, they're not. Alright, we're going to set you up behind because you may need to repair it soon. And you are stuck where you are. Okay, I believe that's everything. We took out the corvettes, and we took out the battleship. And we're positioned favorably against this guy. I think we've got this. Yeah, you can do that if you want. Oh. I get... You know, scratch what I said earlier. I guess they also have the Plasma Blaster upgrade. I said they probably don't, and I think they do. Because they... Otherwise, they would have had to wait one more... Okay! They used the Plasma Blaster on a frigate that was basically dead anyways. That's a big waste. If they fired it at the battleship, that would have been a lot worse for me. But they didn't. So that's... Our prospects are looking a lot better. Now let's get some repair. And they've also positioned themselves terribly. I can really exploit this positioning. Yeah, let's take that out. Okay, kinetic guns here. Guns here. Okay. Okay. And then I move you here. Yes, we're blocking him in. Fortunately, there's not really much you can do on this turn, so we're just going to move you over here. Next turn, he's going to have his Plasma Blasters and Jump Drive again. So his positioning kind of doesn't matter. Okay, can you get around and block this guy? No, you can't. Okay, so we're going to put you here instead. Alright, I think that's everything. Yeah. Shoot your thermal guns into the Corvette. That's fine. This is looking juicy. Swoosh. Some torpedoes. Do you have more? Or is it just the plasma? It's just the plasma. Okay. So from here, I think I want to try and take this out without using the Plasma Blasters. But I'm not sure that's possible. So, yeah, unfortunately I think the best way to do this is to use these. Alright, so all that's left at this point is the dreadnoughts. Now, they're still dangerous. Even after everything they've been through, they're still dangerous. So I am going to turn you around in a second. Like so. Okay. Then we can EMP barrage right here. Probably should have done that first, but, I mean, they didn't get very far anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Let's get the blasters. And let's get the cannons. Let's get the thermal cannons. Now, they are probably just going to use their jump drives, but it's still worth blocking behind them because they might mess up their jump. Alright, see what you got. Yeah, this one just chose not to jump anyways, so that was good. That was a good call. Alright, I think we're saying goodbye to this frigate. You served us well. Good night, sweet prince. Oh. Maybe I could have recharged the shields. I didn't really look. No, probably not. It's probably this turn. Yeah. Let's go with that. And we can deploy more corvettes. Lovely. Okay. I do want to use my corvettes to repair you. And shoot at the enemy. We're going to move you back a bit. Deploy another corvette. Yeah, it's probably more valuable to repair you, to be honest. There's this corvette, or not a corvette, this is a frigate. This isn't a beach, this is a bathtub. I don't want to use the jump drive now. I want to save it for when the good guns come off cooldown. Oh god, these things are getting in the way. There's so many of them. Alright, now we cross our fingers. Yeah, they're going to deploy more of their own corvettes. That's fine. Yep, I am definitely going to live this. There's no way he's going to kill me here. Yeah, throw everything you got at me. Yep. You didn't even break the shields. Ah! You might break the shields. There they go. Yeah, they're not doing too much damage. Go ahead. Shoot the corvettes. There's probably not even people inside there, to be honest. Yeah, they're going to do a little repairing, which is mildly annoying, but we can also kill. I mean, they position themselves perfectly to die. Okay, so Armor Hardener is back. This guy lost all of his, so using that might be a good idea. If I can actually repair it enough. Which, hold on. So first, let's reactivate this. Get you back over here. Then we're going to fire our plasma cannons. Then we'll get over here. Then we'll repair you. We'll repair you even more. And now we'll use the Armor Hardener. Kind of recovering from all of that damage you took earlier. Now we can start teleporting on top of this guy and finish him off. Let's see, 900. That does most of it. Okay. So we're going to use the plasma blasters over here. You're going to use the thermal barrage on you because you don't have any point defense. And this might actually kill it. Just through sheer volume. Yep. And then we're going to use the plasma blasters on you to soften up those shields. Then we're going to teleport backwards to here and finish this guy off with a pair of thermal cannons. Excellent. That's 20 dreadnoughts. This is over. Just fire everything. Yeah, let's get you guys forward. You're kind of blocking the road. You guys can't quite get in range. That's fine. Alright. Go for it. Yeah, I mean, he could have taken this chance to wipe out a frigate, but he's not going to do that, because he's not smart enough to realize he's screwed. Alright. And here comes the plasma blasters. Oh wait, shit. I might actually hit my guy. Okay, good, no. I was like, oh no, wait. Sometimes you hit your own ships if they're large enough. But in this case, the angle was fine. And I panicked for nothing. Let's move you forward 1. Thermals. Shields. Jump here. Thermal barrage, might as well. Thermal cannon. And we'll finish it off with the plasma. Let's see, 600? Yeah. 2,000, let's go. Good night. Yeah, I think, you know what? I think we can call it here, turn 42. Because I'm basically just going to repeat that. That's what that looks like. I'm going to do a bunch of that, and now that I'm building more dreadnoughts, I've got more under production, and my dreadnought yards are pretty safe. I've got lots of tachnium access. I've got max fleet size of 7. I'm just going to do that, but more of that. So, from here, let's save and exit, and I'm going to show you what the end of the game looks like. Let's go here. This is what it looks like when you win. Let's close this. Here's the fleet. So here's the tier 4 garrisons. These get unlocked once you reach enough to actually once you have enough data for the final theory. And then you have to take one of these out. I mean, look, they're not that difficult. They're going to be about the same difficulty as those mega fleets that you saw earlier. And then you launch this, and it does this. Pretty cool, huh? And hopefully that black hole looks familiar, because that's in the background for a lot of the combats. In fact, I think it's in the background for all of the combats. The intergalactic age is about to begin. Novice difficulty still took about 3 hours. Although I'm pretty sure I kind of took a long time on purpose. I wasn't exactly trying to speedrun. stat screen. Man, the music is really loud. I was going to talk about the stat screen a little bit, but that was really loud. Well, yeah, I mean, I could continue this until I got to that point, but I think I'm going to call it here for now. Yeah, have a good one.